Zoom and all these webinars. This was a new concept, of course, since we came into this COVID session. The things has been worsened and then improving. So after 2020, now we're looking for a better 2021. Thank you very much once again, Richard.
Thank you, Baljinder. Baljinder is my support on the backside today for this special edition with the University of Winchester. So for all the new who just joined us here at the moment, very, very important, please remain on mute modality. This is very, very important today for this special presentation of the University of Winchester. I would like to inform you a couple of things before to start with the first speaker. First of all, we sent an email out yesterday and 1 week ago with an application form for cooperate with the University of Winchester. So very, very important. If you want to start to cooperate with the University of Winchester, you will need to fill out this application form, and you have to send this back directly to me or to the director of recruitment from the University of Winchester, Mr. David Street, which I will introduce you later on today. And if you did not receive this application form, there is no problem at all. We have all your details. When we finish with the workshop today, we will send you again one more time the email with the application form. So at the moment, we welcome here about 130 agents from around 37 different countries around the world. So this is very, very good. I can see many of familiar faces of agents who attend our workshop since February last year. So we had today, since February last year, we had 142 workshops. So this is great, and I can recognize many familiar faces here on the Zoom meeting. I want to say hello to everyone, and it's always very, very nice. Yes, hello, hello. So in the meantime that I'm speaking, I can see other people join us. This is very, very good. And, you know, we always have to start with one person at the University of Winchester. So this time here, we have to start with the, let's say, the Director of External Relations, Mr. Andy Blair. So let's see if Mr. Andy Blair is available here. Andy, I would like to welcome you as the first speaker. I mean, the Director of External Relations Communication. Your position is very, very important inside of the University of Winchester. So I would like to inform you that we are reaching now 134 agents. So slowly, everyone is joining us, and I just admit all and everyone. Very important, all the agents remain on mute modality. This is very, very important. And if you have any questions, you can see below there is a chat system. There is a chat below, and you can go on chat and you can put your question there on the chat. There will be different presentation today. We have about 10 different speakers from the University of Winchester. So there's not only one, we have 10 different speakers, and there is a lot going on today. We will start with Mr. Andy Blair, who will give an introduction of the University of Winchester. Then we will move on with Mr. David Street, which is the head of the international department of recruitment of students and work with agents. And then we have many other people join us from the Winchester. We will explain you about the new visa regulation for the United Kingdom. This is very, very important now. And we will explain you about the commission. Another very big point will be Donna. Donna will explain about the commission, and we are all here for business today. So very, very important is to stay with us all the time so that you will understand all the small details from the University of Winchester, which includes as well the accommodation. And great news for all of you. We did it and we managed with David Street. We bring on board today as well 4 students. Yes, because what is the best for all of us? I have 3 kids, but you know, when I go to one school, what I want to hear is the voice from the other students. So we have 4 students today who will come on board, and they will give their testimonial. And this is very, very important because we can hear how the students are feeling inside at the University of Winchester. So there are different points. We will have here as well the big boss. He will give us an introduction as well about the University of Winchester. We will still have as well a live tour inside at, we call this a virtual tour inside at Winchester. So you will see all the classroom, you will see all the conference room, the library, the coffee area, the sport activity, the music activity. So there is a lot will going on today. So I can see them more and more join us in the meantime. So this is a bit of my work in the beginning to warm up everyone so that more people are join. And as well, all the new one, please remain on mute modality. Remember, today we are live here, so something can happen, no problem. If something happen, just re-enter, just re-enter as usual, and we can shop. Please remain on mute modality, everyone, all the new one, very, very important to remain on mute modality. If not, it will be a big mess. But we are here, we are ready now. I think Andy is ready to give the first introduction. Andy, is all yours. The audience now, you can start. We are reaching soon 150 agents. So I think for 8 o'clock in the morning, London time, is not too bad.
No, that's very good. And what a pleasure it is to meet you all this morning. Welcome to the University of Winchester on behalf of the Vice-Chancellor and the senior management team of the university. It's a pleasure to have so many of you join at such a difficult time. And we recognise how challenging it is across the world to operate as an agent in the pandemic, and also working with students who have so many different ambitions to fulfil through their higher education. It's extremely difficult to work with them and to give them the confidence necessary to continue their journey into higher education. At the University of Winchester, I'm not going to give you a huge overview because you're going to see so much of it as part of today, and you will have the opportunity in speaking to my colleagues to really learn quite a bit about one of the rising stars of UK higher education. Although the University of Winchester has been around for 180 years in one of the oldest cities in the UK, it is becoming a real force for good, particularly in the UK. But across the world, and is now known as the University for Sustainability and Social Justice, which covers very many angles of its ambition, right the way across its undergraduate portfolio, postgraduate portfolio, and its research activity. And the growth in its research and postgraduate portfolio is really quite critical at this time, because with climate change and social justice issues all over the world and a changing global politic, the university becomes more and more relevant every day. As I say, across that 180-year history, we have been very well known internationally already for many different course areas in the humanities, in business, law. Education is a big part of our backbone. Our history was built on a foundation of creating teachers over that 180-year period. But we have an incredibly broad portfolio, one that you might be surprised to see quite how the extent of it. And over the course of today, in the background, when you're listening to my colleagues, I'd invite you to take a look through the course section of our website and really appraise the breadth of courses that we have that you may not be familiar with. The courses that we offer are really about engaging the contemporary world. They are, like many institutions that are around the sort of middle-sized UK universities, focused on developing both teaching and potential research excellence. But what we focus very much our attention on is the journey of the individual. The university's values are compassion, individuality, and spirituality. And that's an important part of what makes Winchester a place where people feel very much at home. We're not a university that has, 10,000 people in hotel style accommodation, all racked up floor to floor to floor to floor as far as the eye can see. The university's campus, as you're going to see later on, is an exceptionally beautiful example of England. And it is in the spirit of keeping that history within the city that the university has built over the last 10 years some really extraordinary accommodation facilities. And most recently, £35 million was spent on a new facility at our West Downs Centre, which opened last September, adding nearly a third to our teaching capacity as an institution. So the time for the university to continue its expansion into the wider world is really now, not because of COVID-19. This was something that we had anticipated we would be doing over the course of the next 10 years. And one of the emphasis, I guess, for today and this session is to really inform you a little bit more about the breadth and depth of the university's offer that can be translated by you across the world as a really serious opportunity for young people to join a historic English university with much credibility, but also a university that is with the spirit of the times. It is something that we're very proud of. Our employment, our relationship to employers and employment, not just in the UK, but globally, is increasingly apparent. And we are going to hear later on from particularly one of our deans of faculty, who will give you a lot more insight in his session into how the university is working with the business world, how the university is working with the health industry. We'll be talking at some point during the day about how the university supports and develops its students intrinsically through a unique educational opportunity called the Values Studies program, which really builds around people's skills and experience during the course of going through their university life with us. And of course, all of our activity, and you'll see this throughout our promotional material that you'll be able to work with, is telling this story about how individuals matter here at the University for Sustainability and Social Justice. This is something that I think many of us feel is unique to sell. It's something that gives great credibility to the personal journey that our students go on. And as you put the University of Winchester into play, should you choose to, if you're not already working with us, it really gives you something different to talk about, an experience that is beyond that you'll normally find in UK higher education, because of that sense of personality and familiarity that this institution has. And you will see it for yourselves today. You'll see the juxtaposition of the old and new. You'll see some of the environments that really make for wonderful friendships more than anything else between lecturers and students themselves and each other. One of the other things, I guess, just to finish before handing over to colleagues, is to say that we are a wonderfully connected institution. We have the luxury of being very, very close to Southampton Airport and only 40 minutes from Heathrow. One road takes you straight to the campus, give or take a left and a right turn when you get to Winchester. So our accessibility is exceptionally important. Our ability currently to be able to offer guaranteed accommodation to our first year students is incredibly important. An internationalization agenda is extremely important, and we value diversity at a fundamental level, and that also gives you great credibility to be able to meet other people and sell the university as an opportunity for real dynamic change for individuals as they go through their higher education with us. Now, you'll hear this kind of thing from many UK universities, and I am not unique in giving you this kind of briefing at an event like this. But I genuinely, having worked in 3 institutions in the UK over the last 25 years, can tell you that over the last year and a half since I joined the University of Winchester, I have found it to be truly different to where I have worked before. I've worked in a large multidisciplinary research institution very close to London for the best part of 15 years. I've worked in an arts specialist institution for 6 or 7 years, focusing very, very much on creativity and the creative industries. But there is something wholly unique about the fabric of this institution and its relationship to its history and its foundation. And I do challenge you over the course of today to see if you can find that narrative for yourself so that you can share it with other people and find that the enjoyment of this institution is something that is A, worth selling, and B, something enjoyable to witness. So I thank you grandly for coming to the University of Winchester this morning. It is a pleasure in these uncertain times to see new faces, as we don't see too many of them every day when we're working with the same colleagues. But thank you. I really appreciate the time you're giving. And I hope that this is the beginning of a very positive working relationship between you and a university that I think you'll find is inspiring to work with. Thank you very much, Richard.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you very much. It was a fantastic introduction of the University of Winchester. I know University of Winchester since many, many years, and I only had great and positive feedback from agents and from students around the world. And of course, I came across University of Winchester because of the head of international recruitment, which you will meet shortly, David. Hello, David. How are you?
Good morning, Richard. Good morning, everybody. What a beautiful morning here in sunny Winchester.
Fantastic, fantastic. I'm pleased to hear that you have some beautiful sunshine. I'm back here in Switzerland and it's still very cold, winter time, a lot of snow outside the office. So this morning I had to wake up half an hour before to come inside in the office because there was a lot of snow and there was a bit of work before to entry. But David, I have some good news. So we are reaching now 160 agents from around the world. And I think we are all looking forward to go into the presentation that you will make. But before of that, I would like just to speak a second to all the agents one more time. Very, very important is that you are part of this presentation today, of the complete presentation, so that you will understand all the small details. And below we have a chat system where you can put some questions. Of course, you cannot put, please send me the agreement, because it doesn't work like this with a state university. First of all, you need to listen to all the presentation. Then second one, you need to fill out an application form, because the university will request that you fill out an application form. And then basis on the application form that you will fill out, David Street with his team, because it's a very big team, they will evaluate every single agent, and then after they will contact you in a one-to-one session. So very, very important today. Please remain, first of all, on mute modality. This is very important. Second one, if you have any questions, you put the question below on the chat. Please be informed that this workshop will be recorded. When everything is finished, we will create a YouTube link, and then after we will send an email to all of you, and you will receive a copy of the presentation from the University of Winchester. David, you can share the screen now. We are 164 participants. It's all yours.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard, and good morning, good morning, good morning. Some of you are old friends of ours, some of you are new friends of ours. As Richard said, my name is David Street. I'm the head of international recruitment here at the University of Winchester. So what I intend to do this morning is to go through with you about life and study at the University of Winchester, and to give you an idea about how wonderful the place is. So without any further ado, I intend to talk to you a little bit about the university. So Richard, if it's okay with you, can you see the screen okay?
The screen is perfect. I can see a very, very nice building, the University of Winchester, January 2021. We are ready.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the life study programs at the University of Winchester. And then my colleagues will talk a little bit more about the campus tour. We're going to talk about visas. But as agents, as friends of the University of Winchester, you'll want to know, why should my students study at the University of Winchester? So before we start, we make 4 golden promises to all of our partners. You've been working for a long time, most of you in the university sector, so you know what you're looking for from universities. 1, you want the universities to answer your emails quickly. We will undertake where we can to answer as quickly as we can all of your questions. We will try and make offers to your students as soon as possible. And if we can't, we'll tell you why we can't, but we know it's really important to act quickly. Where possible, we will also pay commission quickly. Business is business. So you need us to act quickly. And also, most importantly, we will look after your students. You know as well as I do that word of mouth is the only good marketing there is. If your students have a good experience, you do well and we do well. As you heard from my boss, Andy, we have some values as a university. These are our values: compassion and social justice, individuality, sustainability, spirituality. We think it's really important that students feel individual and welcomed at the University of Winchester. This is what we do. We talk about our values, but we actually put them into practice so that all of your students are coming somewhere that is, as Andy said, unique. We are very focused on the well-being of our students and our partners. For those of you who don't know where we are in the south of England. We're an hour from London. We're close, but not too close to London. So it's cheaper and safer. It's also ranked regularly as the best place to live in the UK. So your student experience will be a very positive one. So the city of Winchester, well, it's not so big, not so small, 70,000 people. It's a human scale city. It's not too large, so the students get lost, but it's also very friendly. As we know, smaller cities are always friendlier than big ones. It is also the safest city in the UK. Most of your students and all of their parents will have big concerns about study abroad. In Winchester, it's safe, it's calm. It's also the cultural centre of the UK. As you probably know, London is the capital of England. Winchester is the old capital of England. Before London was the capital, we were. It's also wealthy, which means good shopping. It's a modern city in many ways, but it looks like a medieval European city, which is good because it's a medieval European city with strong education traditions. So the university itself, we're a public university, as Richard said. We're not a private university, we're a public university. That gives confidence to our partners. We are established 180 years ago with a lot of experience of training students, and we were recently shortlisted by the Times as the UK University of the Year. We're a medium-sized school, about 9,000 students. About 10% of our students are international students, but we say that we don't have international students at Winchester. We have Winchester students who are international. Our students are not established, are not identified by where they're from, but who they are. Oh, a bit of a problem with my system here. There we are. 5 faculties. So we have strong faculties in the arts, business, education, health and wellbeing and social sciences. And we have 80% of our students are women. No engineering, no chemistry, no physics, and it's a very safe university. This means the atmosphere at the university is calm. And I will repeat, it's the safest university in the UK.
David,
Yes.
can you stop a second? So we listen here very good. 80% of the students are female. So ladies and gentlemen, what David will say here, he's looking for boys, students, boys. This is very, very important.
Richard, you're quite right. We welcome all students, but if you can send male students, we'd be very happy to see them. We teach in what we call small group culture. Where possible, students are put in small groups for their teaching. Even in the largest programs like psychology and business, we like to have small groups of students. This gives students a voice. You've all sent students to institutions where they're in classes of 50 and 60. They're a number, not a name. At Winchester, that small group culture means the students are valued. And we know how your students are getting on. Very important for you, because if you have a student who doesn't do well, we can let you know, because we'll know before the student tells you, but it means the students are supported. Why? Why would your students come to Winchester? Well, I'll mention first, small group culture. Strong, excellent links to industry and the professions. Your students will want to get valuable experience. We offer internships to our students, international and domestic, work placement on many programs, and the social environment. This is a well-organized, calm, beautiful university and a city that's got a cafe culture and a society that is accepting, welcoming, and diverse. And there is huge amounts of student support at Winchester University. Being a student's hard. You want your students to have a good experience, to feel valued, to feel supported, and to be successful. And we can offer that. And as you can see from the slide, we this year again routinely ranked top 20 for teaching in the UK. As Richard said, we're a good school. We're a really good school. And your students will appreciate that when they get here. My boss, Andy, mentioned the new West Downs campus. This is a beautiful facility. This is where we have our students who are doing business, sports, digital futures, and what a great facility for them. And we would like our students, your students, to be socially active. So in addition to academic study at Winchester Uni, we offer all these programs for students to enjoy themselves as students. We're looking at an 80-20 split. 80% of their time should be being hardworking academic students, but 20% they should be making friends, joining clubs and societies. Now, programs. We are a university that specializes in arts, humanities, social sciences, business law, digital futures, and health and well-being. And as you'll see from this range of undergraduate programs, 3 years programs, we are very, very strong in so many areas. We assess our students largely through continual assessment. So your students are being looked at all the time, they're students, to make sure they're thriving and they're doing well. They'll do small presentations, they'll work as part of a team and get great communication skills. So we want to turn out students, your students, who are going to be able to walk into a job and say, yeah, I can work as part of a team. We don't have many exams as a university because exams are old-fashioned and they're not fair on international students because they're always in English. So we work where possible to get your students through the programs. Now, many of you specialize in areas of sending students to the UK for postgraduate programs. In the main, 1 year, full time. Again, these reflect our values, these reflect our programs. So we're very, very strong again in the business areas, humanities and social sciences, including, of course, the MBA. For many of you, a big, big program. And we have to get your students here. Graduation. There's no point a student coming abroad to study if they're not going to be successful. So we are focused from the first day of getting your students to graduation. Most of our work as an international team isn't getting our students into the university, it's getting them through and out the other end. So we want your students to look like this after a year or 2 or 3 at Winchester. Successful graduation. Many international students worry when they come to the UK, will I be good enough as a student? The answer is, you don't have to be a world champion to be a student at Winchester. We do have world champions. Here's one of them, a Japanese guy, but most of our students are not world champions, but they are focused, hardworking, wonderful young men and women. You heard from Andy, we guarantee accommodation for international students. Most of our students live on campus, in halls. We typically mix students together, domestic and international students together, 6 students. So own bedroom, own bathroom, but sharing a kitchen with other students. We offer, of course, free Wi-Fi. We also have family accommodation available. Some of our students do come with families. And we will help students all the time with their accommodation. This is our accommodation. It's lovely, absolutely gorgeous, and it's on campus.
It looked very beautiful, David. It looked very, very beautiful. I mean, to have this great accommodation for the students, they must be very, very happy. I know, ladies and gentlemen, that after some presentation, I will bring on board testimonial of students who are here with us today, and they will explain how they're feeling to live inside at the University of Winchester, because the accommodation today is a very, very important part for the student when they study abroad. And even more now with the COVID, because as we all know, many universities, they need to work on remote with the students. So it can happen maybe that some courses are made online and the students stay back in the room. And I don't know if this is the case with Winchester at the moment, but in general, the accommodation is a very, very important point during a 3 years bachelor program or a master program. Please, David.
Richard, you're quite right, because the students will spend about 15 or 20 hours a week in academic study and a lot more time in their accommodation. So we mentioned before about the well-being of our students. By making the accommodation so lovely for students, they feel very comfortable. Now, we're all familiar with COVID, of course, but at Winchester, we worked really hard during the year to make sure the campus was fine for our students. So we opened as usual in September. We put in place a whole range of issues to support our students through COVID. As Richard said, we're teaching remotely for most of our students. We have one of the lowest rates of COVID in the UK, partly because we're so careful with our guidelines, and also our students are very law abiding. Now, you're going to hear from my colleague, my excellent colleague Nabil, about visas and CASs shortly. We are the team that will help your students with visas. It's a big issue for many students. We have a tiny visa failure rate at Winchester, and you'll hear from Nabil how we do that. But we are the team to support. So when you do have questions about visas, we are the people you're going to be asking. We organize an airport pickup for our new international students, big orientation and registration program, of course, and a big international welcome for our new students. You're going to hear from a couple of our student ambassadors later on this morning. These are students who work with students to make sure your guys are welcomed and supported. We also have a lot of English language support. Many international students are worried about English, so we run in-sessional language support. We also have pre-sessional language courses and specific language courses for 6 months and 1 year before the university starts. We offer study skills for all international students. And we have a big team who support students with the stuff about being a student in the UK, whether it's the health service, their well-being, advice, guidance, getting a job, whatever they need to do, we will help them with that. Finally, for me, entry requirements and fees for your students. Well, undergraduate entry requirement, for those who do require an English language qualification, an IELTS or equivalent of 5.5 for most undergraduate courses. Postgraduate a little higher, but not much. We always want to know about the academic background of students and their personal statement of why and their references. The fees for the university, we're a medium-sized university, but our fees are pretty good. They're at a point where the students can afford it, but also as agents, if you are agents, commission becomes important as well. Housing costs, we're not in London, it's cheaper. So for students, it's much more affordable for accommodation and living costs. So the total for a year for an international overseas fee-paying student between about £22,000 and £24,000 a year, which for most of your students is reasonable, I guess. And there are some courses that have a little higher in their cost, but not so many. I'm responsible for a number of our markets, particularly the biggest countries we work with, which might surprise you, includes Norway and Japan. My other colleagues, Donna, Nabil and Elton, you'll hear from them shortly, they work with other countries. So they'll introduce themselves as they go through this morning. But for those of you working particularly in areas like Hong Kong again, Japan and Norway, I'll be your contact person. And I'm overall responsible for international recruitment. So if you have any big issues, I'll be helping you out with those. So, Richard, thank you for that this morning. I'm going to pass it back to you now so you can pass on to my amazing colleague, Chris.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, David. You give a very good presentation. I have one question before to move on to Chris. University of Winchester is offering the foundation program as well to some students.
Yes, we do, Richard. We have a 1-year foundation course as a pre-undergraduate, and the pre-master's students typically do a 3rd-year entry undergraduate course. So the students with academic background is not quite where it needs to be. We can cope with them as well.
Thank you very much, David. This was a very important question. I saw that some of the agents put this question down on chat. So very important, all the questions that you put down in chat, there will be Donna and David who will reply to you. Now, please, very important, remain here with us, that the presentation just started now, because you will get all the information by the different speakers. So I know you put many questions, which we will explain to you now. So I can see Chris. Chris, are you available at the moment? Chris Knock. Yes, I can see.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It's nice and sunny up in Birmingham, so yeah, it's not too bad.
Nice. I can see you have the similar background from University of Winchester, and this is a very, very good. I mean, we're talking about a public university, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a private university. This is a public university. So is in public university, you need to follow the rule from the public university. So there is a certain rule, a certain procedure. For example, one very important point is that every agent will need to fill out an application form in order that the university can evaluate the possibility to cooperate with you. So very important, you have to stay here and listen to all the presentation, and then after we will send you the application form. Many of you already sent back the application form, so thank you very much. The team of University of Winchester is already working on this at the moment. So they will come back to you, they will schedule a one-to-one meeting, and they will come back to you and then go to the next step for the agents agreement. Chris, we're all looking forward to see your presentation. You can share your screen now.
Excellent. I'll just do that now.
This is very, it would be a very interesting presentation from Chris.
Excellent. So can you see my screen, Richard?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Excellent, brilliant. Right, so I'll just introduce myself. So my name is Chris. I work in the Future Students team at the university. So it's dealing with UK recruitment. So I'm responsible for managing a variety of different undergraduate and postgraduate events at the university, and also assisting our schools and colleges colleagues with going out to events, UCAS exhibitions up and down the UK as well. So just to give you a quick overview of what this tour will be. So it'll be a whistle-stop tour of the University of Winchester down at our King Alfred Quarter, which you can see down here, and also up at our West Downs facility, just up the hill up here. So as you can see, really, really nice place, the city of Winchester itself. Like David was saying earlier, it's one of the oldest, it's a very old city, it used to be the capital of England a very long time ago. And the university itself was founded back in 1840. So we certainly celebrate the values that we had back then and the values we have now. And we were founded as a teacher training college back then. And since then, the original building we had was this building just here that you can see on the screen. So this is the Winton building. This was the original building on campus, and as you can see, everything else since then has come out of the growth over the last 180 odd years. So really, really cool. So what we're going to do is just head to our main reception just here. And this is where we'd usually start a campus tour if we were taking place actually physically on campus. So just to give you a couple of pointers. So all this was filmed pre-COVID. So you'll see you won't see any social distancing, you won't see any mask wearing, and some of the buildings would have changed their configuration slightly. So, and also as well, I won't be going into all the different buildings that you could see on the screen just before, because we've got half an hour. So I'll go showing you the main buildings and give different pointers about our accommodation and our brand new facilities as well. So just to start off in our learning cafe. So reception actually is just here. And a lot of the students that would go into the city centre will usually go through here, and the city centre is that way. So it's not far. It's only around about 10-minute walk to the city. So it's not far at all. So what we're going to do is just go into our learning cafe really quickly. So this is one of our social learning spaces on campus. It's a really great place to meet friends before or after lectures and meet academics if you've got a one-on-one tutorial, whatever it be. And it's got really, really nice catering area as well. So they serve hot drinks, cold drinks, sandwiches, snacks, all kinds of different things. And at the moment in COVID circumstances, all of these PCs and chairs have been taken out. So it's just an open space with a couple of tables and chairs spaced throughout the room. But usually this is what it would look like. A really nice place. The room itself is open 24 hours a day. The catering facility isn't, unfortunately. But if students needed to access it at 3 in the morning, whenever it be, there is a card. A security lock on the door. Students need to scan their student ID card to access the room. And like I said, really, really nice, bright, open space for students to use. So what I want to do now is just go downstairs, so one floor. This is the food hall. So this is one of the largest catering spaces on campus. So this is where students can get their breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you're a catered student in a catered accommodation, this is where you'd usually go for your food, but you could eat all over campus. So like I said, breakfast, lunch, and dinner here. They serve a whole variety of different hot and cold options. They serve meat options, vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free, loads of different options available for students. And you don't have to be eating to use this facility. You can meet, like similar to a learning cafe, you can meet friends before or after lectures and all that kind of stuff as well. And all the food here is all fair trade. We're a fair trade university, so all the food is good quality and sustainable as well. So what I want to do is just go down to the next floor in this building, which is the terrace bar. So this is a terrace bar facility. They serve alcoholic drinks, non-alcoholic drinks as well. And it's a really, really nice seating area. Outside, just there, you've got loads of seating you kind of see in the background. It's lovely during the spring and summer when the sun is shining, not so great in the winter when it's -2 outside and it's snowing or it's raining. but it is a really, really nice space to be before or after lectures as well. So what we're going to do is just go down to the next floor of this building, into the vault, which is a student union space. So we have got a very, very active student union here at the University of Winchester. They offer a whole different range of societies, course societies as well. So you've got like Law Society, you've got the History Society. You don't have to be on those societies you don't have to be on those courses, sorry, to join those societies. You might just have an interest in it. But this is the Vault. This is a venue that has a capacity of just under 1,000. So it's a really renowned space. As you can see, this is one of our student union nights that happens throughout the semester, happens throughout the weeks here at Winchester. This is a kind of like a club night. You're really having a view from the DJ booth. But this facility is used for all different options, not just kind of club nights. You've got just here, you've got a seating area that will come down, and they have movie nights, they have quizzes, they have all kinds of different things that take place in this facility. And you've also got sports teams and societies that can use this facility as well. And you've got two bars. You've got one just here and one just around on the corner. So we're going to go out of this building. So we started at main reception. We were just in at the King Alfred Centre just here. And what we're going to do is just head down into Meecroft, which is just here. So it's just down the hill. Oh, yeah, sorry, Richard.
Yeah, can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes, I want to speak to the agent shortly. I mean, this presentation, which Chris showed to us today, you can find this as well on the website of Winchester, because this will help in you when you speak to the students and to the parents to show exactly how the university look like inside, because now everyone wants to see everything. As we know, the students today, they go on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. No, Facebook not anymore, but they go everywhere now. And this is a very important part. This virtual tour, which you can find on winchester.ac.uk, this can be shown to the students when you have a presentation in your home country, to the parents, to the student, or to the local teacher. You can present this directly, and this will help in you to get more and more quality students. Chris, please continue.
Excellent. No worries. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit more at the end about where people can find this virtual tour. It's really, really helpful. And this was filmed a couple of years ago, but some more images are coming out, 360 images are coming out over the next couple of months, hopefully. So, like I said, we were just finished at the Vault just here, which is in the King Alfred Centre. And what I want to do is just head down the hill into our Meecroft Quarter. So this is where our humanities and social sciences faculty is based. This is your histories, your sociologies, your politics, that kind of stuff. This is where those guys are based. So this is a really historic building. This actually used to be a school a very long time ago, but the university bought it quite a while ago, and now it's where our humanities and social sciences is based. So we're just going to have a look into one of the labs that are down here. So I should say as well, not all courses will have course-specific facilities to use. We have got loads and loads of courses that don't have specific facilities, like history, for instance, because you don't need any specific labs or specific rooms or facilities, then you're just all over campus. So this is a course-specific facility. So this is used for archaeology, for anthropology, for those geography as well, for those kind of courses. But it's a facility you do excavations, to bring artifacts back from archaeological digs. All that kind of fun stuff is all sorted out here and cleaned and examined, which is really, really cool. So what I'm going to do is just head back on to the main map. And we're going to go onto the Stripe Plaza. So we've just gone through Meecroft. We'll walk back up the hill onto the plaza. So this is one of the main areas of the university. This is a nice big highway for students. A lot of students that are living off campus or in their second and third years with us, they live in Stanmore, which is just over here. It's around about a 20-minute walk away, and it's not far at all. And a lot of students coming from their accommodation to here will arrive usually on the Stripe Plaza just here. So as you can see, we've already been into the Vault and the Terrace Bar. And what we're going to do is just head into the Stripe building. So the Stripe has two large lecture theatres. This is the Stripe Auditorium. Even with our brand new facility up at our West Down Centre, which David was talking about a little bit earlier on, and I'll talk a little bit more about in the near future, this is still the largest teaching space on campus. This seats around about 330 people in total. Obviously, this is filmed before COVID, but you've got loads and loads of seats, and this, I believe, is a primary education lecture that's taking place. And you've also got a similar room upstairs in the Stripe Lecture Theatre. That's got about 170 seats, so it's slightly smaller, but it's a really nice space for students to use. You've also got some smaller seminar spaces just out here in Studios 1 and Studios 2 as well. So what we're going to do is just head back on to the plaza. And this is the St. Alphege and St. Egberger buildings. So these were built, the St. Alphege building was completed in 2012. The St. Egberger building a similar time as well. So the St. Alphege building has got eight 80-seat lecture theatres, and it's also got 2 at the top as well, which we're just about to go into now. So this is the very top of the St. Alphege building. This is St. Alphege room 301. This is a criminology lecture, I believe, that's taking place. And as you can see, it's a really, really nice teaching area and teaching space. This could seat anywhere from 80 to 100 people, depending if you take the tables and you just have chairs in there. But it's a really, really nice space for students to be in for their lectures. So what we're going to do is just head onto the terrace. So we're going to go back to the main map really quickly. And we've been through all over here, and we're going to go on to the terrace. So similar to the Stripe Plaza, this is a really big highway for students to go to lectures, from lectures, meeting up with friends, going to societies, sports teams, whatever it be. So where we started earlier, this is back in 1840. Over the last couple of years, a lot of it has been renovated. So the last couple of years, last couple of summers, we've replaced all the windows, we've cleaned the building, we've renovated parts of it as well. So it's a really nice space to be in. So what we're going to do is go to the ground floor of this building. This building, I should say, houses our student services team, it houses our admissions team, houses our international recruitment team, our home recruitment team, and marketing as well, and loads of different professional services department. We use this facility. So we're going to just head into our student services department here. So student services, we're a really, really small university, which is really, really good for having one-on-one support and support available for students, whether it be disability support with dyslexia, dyspraxia, and also with counselling, mental health, well-being. Loads of different support is an offer for students at the University of Winchester, and we do pride ourselves on supporting students throughout their 3 years or 4 years, their undergraduate and postgraduate qualifications with us. As part of the student services team is our academic skills team as well. So those guys are really helpful with students from that jump between, for UK students with their A levels or BTECs, or international students from that jump from level 3 qualifications to level 4 with the university. So really, really helpful with those guys. They offer workshops on presentation skills, on assignment writing, essay writing, all kinds of different things, and really, really useful as well. So what we're going to do is just head back onto the map and head back onto the terrace. So an important thing here, not completed just yet, but will be very, very soon. The room we were in for St. Alphege 301 was this here. Opposite in 303 is going to be our new careers and employability hub. So at the moment, our careers team are based just beyond this wall, just here, but they're moving into this brand new facility. It's been completely renovated. It's due to open over the next couple of months, and it's going to help Tom, who's the head of our employability and student engagement at the university. Really, really good space for students to use. Whether that be on CV writing, interview skills, one-on-one support available, and also with workshops. So loads of different support available for students looking for either graduate jobs when they finish, or jobs after post-university. So really, really useful. And that should open over the next couple of months or so. So what I want to do is just head in to our Marshall Rose Library. So we've got 2 libraries now at the university. We've got this one, the Marshall Rose Library. This was the original one. And then we've also got up at our West Down Centre, a brand new library facility as well for business, law, economics, digital media, those kind of courses. I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But in terms of this facility, so you've got 3 floors, and there's around about 300,000 books. Obviously, that changes year on year with more books being added and taken away, for instance. But it's got loads and loads of online materials as well, especially helping students during these COVID restrictions. So we've got loads of online journals that students can use, and also loads of different PC spaces as well. So this is one of the floors where we've got PCs on both sides of the table, but we've also got spaces where they are don't have any PCs, so students can bring their own technology, their own laptops, their own iPads, whatever it be. So really, really useful. So what we're going to do is just head into the study area. So this is one of our study areas here at the university. So similar to what I was saying just then, it's a space for students to meet up, bring their own laptops, their own technology as well. So this is the ground floor of the building, and as you can see, it's a really, really nice space for students to use. And this facility as well, during term time, is open. Obviously, with COVID restrictions, it's slightly varied, but it has been open 24 hours a day throughout the semester. Obviously, that is due to, subject to change. And what we're going to do is just head into a school resource centre. So what I said earlier, when we were founded back in 1840, we were founded for teacher training, and teacher training is certainly a very important part of the university. So we have around about 1,000 teachers on our undergraduate and postgraduate level. And this facility, this is half of the second floor at the university's library, Marshall Rose Library. This has got teaching space for students to use. It's got loads of resources and all kinds of different resources available for students. So that was the library, and we're just going to go back out onto the main map and back into our Cyber Italia. So
yeah,
this is
Chris,
yeah.
before you go to Cyber Italia, which they show some excellent food I can see, I start to become a little bit hungry, and I think all of you, but remember, we are just started with the presentation of University of Winchester. So thank you for everyone to stay on mute modality. This is very, very important. Later on, we will explain you a little bit more about the scholarship, about commission. We will welcome some students on board as well, which will give their testimonial. We even will receive here the dean. And so after Chris, we have a presentation made directly from the Dean of Faculty of Business, and this will be directly Professor Brout Martin, and we are all looking forward. So Chris, I just steal you a couple of seconds for you so you can breathe a little bit, because I know it's not so easy to give a presentation all the time, but you know, it looked very nice. I like the idea to give this presentation because so people will understand how the University of Winchester is looking inside. I have a short question for all the new agents as well. How many students more or less are around the University of Winchester who just going back and forward all the time? 3,000, 5,000, more or less?
It does completely vary. We have around about 8,000 students. Obviously, that changes year on year. We have around about 8,000 students. So anywhere on campus, you could have anywhere from a couple of hundred to a couple of thousand. Obviously, it changes during the weeks, during the busy periods of the weeks.
So you can imagine, ladies and
See,
gentlemen.
with COVID, it's quite different.
Yeah, of course. But usually, I mean, this is a university which has a lot of students. And so it's very important to be well organized with the library, with coffee area, etc. So please, Chris, you can move forward with your presentation.
Excellent. No worries, Richard. So this is very similar to our Learning Cafe where we started earlier on. So this is Cyber Italia, or KKB. So this is similar to Learning Cafe. It's a social learning space. So due to COVID and also other restrictions as well, all these PCs have been taken out now. And instead we have PCs around the back walls just over there. But you have very few PCs now in here. A lot of students will bring their own laptops, their own technology with them. But you've also got a nice catering area as well. And this is the only place on campus you can get pizza served as well. So very, very important for our students. You've also got hot and cold meal options as well. So sandwiches, paninis. You've also got hot and cold drinks as well, coffees, teas, fruit drinks, smoothies, all kinds of different options available for students. Similar to the terrace bar where we were earlier as well, you've got a nice seating area outside. Again, lovely during the summer and the spring, not so great during the winter when it's cold and wet outside, but a really, really nice space. So what I want to do is just head back onto, go to the All-Wing Green. So we were just in Cyber Italia, which is just here, and you can kind of see the seating area just outside. But this is All-Wing Green, so this is really, really nice space for students to be. Just in front of us here is All-Wing Halls. So back in the day, quite a while ago, all of this used to be catered accommodation. But I believe that now, vast majority of this is now offices for our academic staff, because we've grown so much over the last 5-10 years. We need more space for our teaching staff. So this is where social work is based, for instance, performing arts, musical theatre, and loads of other courses are based here. Academic staff are based here. It's just because we've grown over the last couple of years. So we need more space for our teaching staff. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to our Burma Roshan village, but I'm just going to head out onto the map really quickly and go into our journalism suite. So this is a course-specific facility, similar to what I was talking about earlier with our labs for archaeology and anthropology, for instance. But this is our journalism suite. So this is for our journalism students. It was renovated a couple of summers ago, all state-of-the-art equipment, and it's run very much like a newsroom. So our lecturers on our journalism team, they're all ex-professionals. They've worked for the likes of BBC or Sky, whatever it be. So it's run like a newsroom, and students on our journalism programs have pretty much first-hand experience from the start when they start the course to the end of the course of working what it's like in a newsroom facility. So what I do is just head into our multimedia center, which is just through here. So this is used by our journalism students, our media students, our digital media students, all kinds of different students can use this facility. And it's open, I believe, 24 hours a day during semester time as well. So it's all got the latest technology and equipment that students will need on those courses. And you've also, just beyond here, you've got a multimedia loans counter. So that's where students can loan out the latest camera equipment, the latest sound recording equipment. They don't have to be on journalism or media to use that, or film to use that equipment. They may just have a project they need to use, they need to film something for or record something for, so they can get the equipment quite readily available just through there. So really, really useful for students to use. So we're just going to head back onto the main map and into our recording studio. So this is one of the latest additions we have on our campus. This was renovated about 2 summers ago, I believe. All state-of-the-art, is about £800,000 for the equipment. So this is for our music and sound production students on those kind of courses. All state-of-the-art, all industry standard, and it's really putting us a really forward direction for the university and where we want to take our students for the future. So all state-of-the-art equipment, and students on, like I said, music and sound production courses can use this sound recording. You've got an audio booth, you've got all kinds of different equipment here, and like I said, all state-of-the-art. So we're going to head back on to the main map, and we're going to head up to our Burma Road student village. So this is our latest accommodation that we have at the university. This was built and completed back in 2013, so a couple of years ago now. And this has got up just under 500 rooms. This is all self-catered, and this is all en suite. So students will have their own bathroom, but it's their responsibility to cook and clean for themselves as well. Students as well, if they would like to use either the food hall where we were earlier, they're more than welcome to get their hot and cold meals from there. But this facility, you have your own kitchen and fridge, freezer spaces, and also ovens and hobs as well. So what we're going to do is just head quickly into the university's gym. So this gym has been here since West Downs was completed back in 2013. And you've got 2 floors. So upstairs, you've got cardio equipment, you've got strength equipment as well. So you've got treadmills, you've got free weights, you've got all kinds of different equipment up here. And then on the ground floor, you've got, again, more free weights up to 40 kilograms. And you've also got squat rack, TRX equipment as well. And you've also got changing rooms as well. So the pricing here does vary year to year and semester to semester, but you're looking at around about £25 a month, which is very competitive for the city of Winchester. So this facility is open for students as well as external people of the city of Winchester as well. They do all kinds of different sessions. So they do things like Zumba and yoga and stretching classes, dance classes, loads of different options available for students and staff as well. So what I want to do is just head onto our student village again, so Burma Road. What we're going to do is have a quick look in one of the ensuite bedrooms up at Burma. So this is a typical Burma Road student village room. So Burma Road, you're looking at sharing between 6 and 8 people. Those are split between genders and also with courses as well. So you won't just have 6 primary education students or 8 history students. You'll have and you could also have, so you could have history, you could have sport, you could have business, you could have all kinds of different courses available. So what that means as well is people aren't just rushing to use shower facilities that are in shared accommodation all at once. So people have different timetables. So this is a Burma Ocean Village typical room. So as you can see, you've got the bed, you've got a nice pinboard as well, large desk, and also storage spaces as well. So, and you've also, just behind here in the room, just there, you've got the ensuite facility, so a shower, toilet, and also wash basin as well. But this is a typical Burma Ocean Village room. There's loads of more details as well on our website with our housing guides and housing information of pricings and length of contracts, all that kind of fun stuff. So what we're going to do is just head back on to the Burma Ocean Village, And just opposite here, we won't go into it because you can't, but this is the St. Swithin's Lodge. So this is where a lot of this is where housing are based. This is where security are also based as well. So we've got 24-hour security on this site, so King Alfred site, as well as our West Downs facility as well. So we were just up at Burma Road, and St. Swithin's Lodge, what I'm talking about here, is just here. So 24-hour security, like David was saying, we're a really, really safe university and safe city as well. And it's something that we pride ourselves on. I mean, our security team are really, really great. Like I said, 24 hours a day. They're there to help students if they get locked out of their halls at 3 in the morning, whatever it be. They're there to assist students on whatever needs they have. And what we're going to do is just head along to our Queen's Road Student Village, which is another one of our ensuite accommodations here at the university. So we're just going to go on there. This has got just under 400 rooms. So this is all ensuite facilities. And you've also got it's self-catered as well, so similar to Burma Road, where you cook and clean for yourself. And what we're going to do is just have a look inside one of those rooms really quickly. So very, very similar to Burma Road. It's a very modern room. This was completed in 2007. So this is very similar, very new accommodation that we have at the university. So something about Burma Road and Queen's Road, because they are both en suite, we compare them quite a lot. So the difference really between this facility, Queen's Road, and Burma Road accommodation is that Queen's Road, you get a slightly larger bedroom, while as in Burma Road, you get a slightly larger kitchen, but it does vary from flat to flat. And Queen's Road, this facility, you're looking at sharing between 4 to 7 people, and that does vary, or 3 to 7 people, sorry. And like I said earlier, it's very much, you won't just be with people on the same course, you'll be with a variety of different courses and genders as well. So I know you've also got a nice look inside one of the bathroom facilities, the ensuite facility. You've got shower, toilet, wash basin as well, just over here. So Queen's Road, really, really nice modern accommodation that we have. So what we're going to do is just head back on to the outside of Queen's Road. So really, really nice facility, and back onto our map. So that was a whistle-stop tour of our King Alfred Centre. And what we're going to do is head just up the hill here to our West Downs facility, West Downs Quarter. But just to give you a highlight as well about accommodation, as you can see on the map, our accommodation is very, very close to the university. Queen's Road here, Burma Road, a very short walk to the King Alfred Centre, the King Alfred Quarter just here, and also about West Downs. West Downs, we've got about 650 rooms, and even that, you're walking down the hill and just over here. So that's a 10-minute walk up the hill, 5-minute walk down the hill, so it's not far at all. And we've also got university managed accommodation throughout the city of Winchester as well. We do also have catered accommodation. I won't be going into much detail about that, but our catered accommodation has decreased over the last couple of years. A lot of it is due to Orwin Hall. Sorry, a lot of this is now academic spaces, but like I said earlier, this all used to be catered accommodation. In terms of catered accommodation, we've got St. Elizabeth's Hall just here, and also Beach Glade just by Meecroft down there. So we do have catered accommodation, but in terms of the comparison between our ensuite self-catered accommodation, is we've got around about 1,400 rooms for self-catered and barely 100 rooms for our catered students. So as you can see, a large difference. What we're going to do is just head up the hill to our West Downs Quarter. So this is our West Downs facility. So what I'll do is just go on to the West Downs Student Village really quickly. So this is the last of our self-catered accommodation that we have at the university. This is West Downs. This is one of the oldest accommodations we've got. This was built in the 90s, but it's still very nice and renovations and modern. So this has got, like I said, 650 rooms here, but this is a mixture of shared and ensuite facilities. So you've got, what we're going to do is just head quickly into a shared shared facility, sorry. So this is a typical West Downs bedroom. You're sharing in a flat, you're looking between 4 and 8 people. And like I said, that does vary between courses as well. But this is a West Downs shared facility. So in shared facilities, you do have your own wash basin in your room, but you're sharing a bathroom. That does vary on how many people are in your flat, but if you're in a flat of 8, for instance, you'll have 2 bathrooms, so a bathroom per 4 people. But the difference between shared and ensuite facilities was the shared facilities, a cleaner will come in once a week and clean your bathroom, and shared facilities, whereas if you're in ensuite, it's your own responsibility. So this is a typical West Downs. You've got the bed, you've got chest of drawers, you've got storage spaces as well. And students also have a nice pinboard that they can pin up artwork, timetables, whatever it be. So it's a really, really nice space for students to be in. So what I want to do is just head back on to the main map and up to our West Downs facility. So what we're going to do is just head into our West Downs foyer really quickly. So this is the business school, and the next talk we talk a little bit more about in depth about the courses that are on offer within the business school. But this is set the kind of the entrance to the West Downs Business School. It's a really nice space for students to use. You've got loads of different size lecture theatres and teaching rooms for students to use, and also course-specific facilities. We won't go into the training room just there for economics student and finance students, but we're just going to have a look inside one of the teaching spaces. So this is, I believe, taken an open day a couple of years ago. This is a business lecture, but this is West Downs 1. It's a really nice facility for students to use and have lectures and be taught in. And like I said, this is a business lecture at one of our open days that happened before COVID, obviously. But it's a really nice space for students to use. You've got one for West Downs 1, the room just here, and also upstairs, you've also got another room very similar size to this. So what we're going to do is just head back onto the map and up to our West Downs Centre as well. So something to note as well, we don't unfortunately have any 360s of our West Downs Centre just yet. That's coming over the next couple of months, hopefully. But a West Downs Centre, like Andy was saying earlier, and David as well, it's a brand new facility. I'm not sure if this video is going to be high quality when I'm streaming it from my laptop, but you can look at it in your own time, of course. It's a really nice facility, like Andy was saying earlier, built for £50 million, and it opened earlier last year. And then you've got 4 floors, you've got a nice, you've got loads of catering spaces, a nice reception area. You've also got a large auditorium that seats around about 250 people. So for lectures and also for guest speakers that come in from outside of the university. You've also got really nice catering facilities, and also, like you see there, a lovely library facility as well. So where I was saying earlier, the main library, the Marshall Rose Library, around about 15% of the current stock was moved out of that library up to this facility here, the library at the West Downs Centre. So that's for courses like economics, business, maths, digital media, all those kind of courses are now housed up at this facility. You've also got course-specific facilities as well. So as you saw just then, you've got digital futures that are based up here. So that's your digital media, your computer science, your data science, all those kind of courses are based up in here. And you've got course-specific facilities on a whole floor of this building. You've also got small teaching spaces as well. And you've also got the top floor got conference spaces as well for external conferences to come in. So it's a really nice facility, and this is just the lecture theatre, the 250-seat lecture theatre, but it's a really nice facility for students to use and access. And like I said, it's open, brand new, and right next to our business school and our West Downs Student Village as well. So in terms of the campus tour at the university, that is it. So I'm finished now, and I will pass over to Richard again. But just so you're aware, if you would like to have a look at this in your own time or showing future international students for the university, if you go onto the main university website, at the very top, one of the tabs, it says take a virtual tour, and just click on that and it will take you to a short video from Alan Titchmarsh, who's our Chancellor, and then it will take you into this image here. So you can have a look at all the different buildings in your own time. And also we've got some city centre areas as well. You can have a look inside the cathedral with the graduation, and also physiotherapy, so some course specific facilities as well. But in terms of the virtual tour, that is it, and I will pass over to Richard for the rest of the day.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you very much. You give a fantastic presentation, a really virtual tour. This can give a complete overview now of the University of Winchester. So I think this was very important to understand the dimension of the campus, because it's very huge. It's huge, and you have so many accommodation inside in the campus. I mean, for the student, this is a win-win if they study at the University of Winchester. And now, because we're talking about win-win, we are looking forward to welcome here the Dean of the Faculty of Business, Professor Martin Broad. Martin, are you available?
Yes. I am available. Hello, Richard. How are you? And welcome to everybody.
Nice to see you. I'm fine, thank you. You look very good as well this morning. Very happy because it's the sunshine of Winchester. So well, this is the lucky side, When we're thinking about the United Kingdom, we're thinking about the weather is terrible, etc. It's not true. If you go to Winchester, you will have a lot of sunshine during the year. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is as well a very important part. I'm living here in the south part of Switzerland, and I know how important is the sun. It helps the students, it helps everyone, it helps to study. So now, Martin, we are looking forward to see your presentation. You can share the screen. You can start to share the screen in the meantime. And I will speak to all the agents 1 second. Thank you to be with us today. It's very nice to welcome all of you. Thank you to remain on mute modality. Now, today we have a couple more presentations which will going on from the University of Winchester. We will have some student testimonials shortly. Then after we will move on into the business side, commission, scholarship, etc., etc. So Martin, you just need to click the green button below and then click share screen.
Yeah, that's no problem at all. What I'd like to do before I actually share the screen is just ask everybody just to stand up. Let's get a bit of energy into the room, can we? Just stand up and get a bit of shaking of your arms and things, because you've been sat down.
This is right. I will do this as well myself.
Yeah, let's just get the blood flowing again in our body, because you've been sat down listening to Chris for quite some time talking about the university, other people, but it's just nice to, you know, just get that refreshment and just get that blood going back in our bodies again. So let me see that I've got my presentation that I'm sharing with you. So bear with me a second. Let me see if this now comes up. I think you are seeing.
Yes, I can see it perfectly.
Can I just check, please, Richard? Are you seeing the presentation mode or are you seeing the PowerPoint slide deck? Let me just see if I go into the presentation mode. Are you seeing it's now big screen?
Yes, I can see this a big screen, and we have a lady who's smiling, and this is very, very important. And again, I can see the blue sky on the back side. So this is Winchester. I love Winchester.
So so let me, I mean, you've heard from Chris a little bit about Winchester, so let me introduce myself. So I'm the Dean here of the Faculty of Business, Law and Digital Technologies at the University of Winchester. You've heard a little bit about us. I'm going to try not to repeat some of the content, because I know that a lot of you will want to know a lot more detail about what we have here within the faculty, our programs, our students, our student life, etc. But before we get into that, let's just talk about the University of Winchester and what it has to offer. We are a values-driven university. And what does that mean? It means that we take very seriously the areas around sustainability, social justice, and very much around the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And we are signatories and we're a champion university for the United Nations Principles of Responsible Management Education. These are characteristics that differentiate Winchester and differentiate my faculty from other universities. For the agents in the room, the last 20 years of my life, I've worked in a Russell Group university, and I've been the head of a business school in a Russell Group university. And I'm sure that for many of you, you see a Russell Group university as the position you'd like to get the vast majority of your students going to in the UK. But I joined Winchester in September last year, after spending 5 years as the head of a business school in a Russell Group university, recruiting in nearly 2,000 international students into my business school each year. And those students would be in rooms of 100, 150 at a time. Winchester is different. In our postgraduate teaching, the students will be in class sizes a lot smaller. Our staff will get to know your students. We put in a lot of work into supporting our students through their studies. So Winchester is in the southern part of the UK. It is a beautiful place. The sun is shining into my face now as I'm speaking to you. It's mild, it's temperate. We're less than 1 hour from the capital city of the United Kingdom, London, in the southern part of the UK. And any historians in the room, back in the medieval times, Winchester was the capital of England. And we have a lot of history in relation to that. So we want students to come to Winchester. We want them to flourish with their postgraduate study. We've got a large number of programs, and I'll talk about those in just a moment, that I think will be really valuable and interesting, and programs that you will be able to sell to the students that are interested in coming to the UK to study. I have spent many years working in the international space, and for quite a bit of my time, I've been the chair of the International Committee of the Chartered Association of Business Schools. So I know the competition that's out there about whether they come to the US, Canada, Australia, UK. And my view is it's UK #1 to come to because of our gold standard of our education, and focus particularly here at Winchester around that as well. So some of my slides here, I'm not going to go into too much detail because you've probably seen a little bit about these slides already. You've seen, one second, I seem to have lost my PowerPoint slide. When you multitask on the screen and do two things at one time, you've got to make sure you don't do too many things at the same time. Okay, so you've seen the campus. It is a beautiful campus we have here at Winchester. We've got lots of pictures here with a blue sky, and of course that would always be blue sky in England. It does rain as well, but most of the time we celebrate with the blue sky and the sunshine. It's quite temperate here in the UK. I won't go through the beautiful campus because Chris took you through a lot of that already, and I'm sure you want to hear a lot more from me about why study at Winchester, why study within my faculty, and why study some of the postgraduate programs we've got. But we can share these links with you at a later stage. That is no problem in the slightest. So why postgraduate? Why come to the UK? Why study these postgraduate programs? So we know that students come to the UK to get a premium in their lifetime earnings, and we know that students are more likely to secure professional and managerial roles. And for many of the students across the world, they would like to come to the UK, not just to study, but also to get a great cultural experience, come experience a global education, come experience life with other students. And at Winchester, as Chris was saying earlier, we have about 8,000 students on campus. We also have another institution in Winchester, which brings in a large number of overseas students, nothing to do with the university, but with another university. So it is quite a large city in relation to the student body, and that's great because students can mingle then. But as a city, we are one of the smaller cities in the UK. And with that, there's a lot of history, a lot of buildings, a lot of culture, and it's a great place to study. We're very close to the coast. We are very close to areas of outstanding natural beauty, new forest areas, moorland, as well as I say, quick access into London should the students wish to do so. Less than an hour on the train to get into London. So it's very easy to go up to London for an evening or a weekend and come back to Winchester. So why come to Winchester? As I said, we are a values-driven university. We know that Gen Z students are very conscious around climate change, global impacts of what we are doing, and they want to come to a university and to study in an education environment that takes these issues very seriously. Our postgraduate students have a very high satisfaction rate, well above the sector average. And that's really important for us and for you to think about those students coming to study postgraduate education. The Gen Z students that we see want to understand a lot about climate change, want to understand about world poverty, want to understand about sustainability, and we embed all of that within our education. And I can't emphasize that enough. In all of my programs that we deliver at the business school and across the faculty, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are embedded into the curriculum. We don't just do it because we do it because we think it's important. We do it because we want our students to graduate and to be responsible future business leaders. And that responsible emphasis is really important. I want my alumni, the students that you're speaking to go out to be successful, whether they stay studying or working in the UK or whether they go to work in their home countries. But I want them to be conscious of the many challenges the world has got. And the university has set out a vision to 2030. And that vision to 2030 is really important because that's the same dateline that United Nations have put on those Sustainable Development Goals. So what can we do as an education provider to educate our students at postgraduate education in MBA, in project management, in cybersecurity, but also focus around those United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and create responsible leaders? You can be successful and you can have an agenda around sustainability and social justice, as well as the Sustainable Development Goals. So it's really important that we embed that within our education at Winchester.
Very
salary
good.
position.
Martin, I just interrupt you for a second. I think this is very interesting. Something that come across to me all the time, beside is something which I have difficult to explain sometimes to agents, to students, is this ranking. Or everyone is speaking about ranking. If you go to Singapore and they're speaking about UK university, at a list of ranking. If you go to the Times newspaper, is a different rank. If you go to QS, is a different ranking. So I know that Winchester is an excellent university and is a top ranking university. On my view, basis my experience, I have about 32 years of experience. I can see, and I have a lot of feedback from agents, from students, from professor, from competitor, and they always say Winchester is a very, very, very warming, nice, excellent university. So what can you tell me about this ranking? I mean, how we have to position Winchester today?
Absolutely. I think, Winchester is in a different situation than other universities. We have set our stall out that we are a values-driven university, and those values around sustainability and social justice are not just words, but they are lived here at Winchester. I wouldn't have moved from a Russell Group university to join Winchester if I didn't think there was a point of difference here at Winchester. And we've got the opportunity to educate our students in a different way to the same standard, and I do emphasize that, to the same standard that I saw at my previous institution. The quality of the staff that I got here at Winchester is comparable. We perhaps do more than some other Russell Group universities. We have a lot more engagement with businesses. We bring those business leaders into the education. So for the MBA, for instance, we bring in the chief executive. I bring in the governors of the university in to help bring the education to life and talk about what it's like in real life. The mentoring opportunities and how we engage with our alumni to help our students is also a point of difference. But that education piece, a lot of my staff have worked in industry as well as being academics. And some universities that study, that deliver postgraduate education, a lot of their staff are very good in terms of their research, and that gives the university a very high ranking, but they haven't had the practical experience of working in industry. So what we're very fortunate at Winchester is to have practitioners as well as academics. And they are, you might blend that to be a pragademic, a practical academic. And I think that's so important now for students. Yes, we teach the theory. You need to understand theoretical concepts, but it's how those theoretical concepts apply to practice and how practice reinforms the theory. And the staff we've got have actually been at the coalface of delivering within organizations, and then have then studied their DBA or their PhD, and have then capstone that academic rigor into what they are delivering here at Winchester. So the blend of the academic which you get at Winchester really does provide that value-added proposition for students that are studying here. Now, in terms of rankings, I've got a slide up here that says I'm top 10 for graduate salaries. Any university that you go to will find a ranking table that shows it's top 10 or it's top 50 or it's top something else. As Winchester, I'm ranked in the top 50 providers of apprenticeship degree programs. And that's how we work with industry for our degree programs. My previous institution, I worked very hard on the education piece and moved it from a ranking of 76 into being the top 10. And I've come here to Winchester to really focus on that excellent education experience that we give to our students. I can't emphasize enough to the agents there in terms of our focus, our passion, and our commitment to the students that come to Winchester. The fact that students come to Winchester are not in a class size of 200. They're in class sizes of 30s and 40s and seminar sizes of 20s, 25s. That quality of the education that they get here at Winchester is the point of difference, I think, that we can offer students that are coming from across the world, to an environment that is safe and secure, to a place in the UK in the southern part, which is easy to get to the capital city, London, is right on some fantastic areas of outstanding natural beauty. Winchester as a city is just plainly beautiful. It's not bright neon lights. It's right on the fringe of the South Downs. You can go for walks in the countryside. 10 miles to the west of here. You could be walking through the New Forest. You could be walking with free roaming ponies and cattle and donkeys, and you can be out there having picnics. It is a it is a beautiful part of the world to be. And I have traveled across the globe in my career. It is a really pleasant place to be.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Martin, for answering this. By the way, I know that a famous actor studied at Winchester, a very, very famous actor, and he's like a testimonial as well. David, you informed me a couple of times in some of the presentation around the world, and all the students and the agent was very happy to hear about that. Maybe if you can just enlarge a little bit, David, about this famous Hollywood star.
I'm happy to, Richard. I don't want to cut into Martin's excellent presentation, but I would add that Colin Firth is from Winchester. So he's a typical Winchester boy, quite classy, quite sophisticated, very nice guy. But to support Martin's point, the reason we were nominated as University of the Year was because of our small group culture and our attention to student welfare and well-being. A very high graduate employment rate, as Martin says, because of the work the schools are doing in generally, the business school in particular, to nurture and support our students. So Martin, back to you for your excellent presentation.
Thank you, David. Yeah, I mean, very good point. Being shortlisted for University of the Year is quite an accolade. It's up against some of the big boys in the university sector. And, some of the main Russell Group universities don't get that shortlisting position. So, really good point there. Thank you for bringing that up, David. Chris talked about this new world-class centre and showed you a video of the West Downs Centre. This opened up in September last year, and this is literally next door. I've got the fantastic juxtaposition here at the West Downs Centre, where the business school that I operate from is this grade 2 listed, rejuvenated old building. You saw on that video clip, or that piece that Chris was talking about earlier, some of the lecture theatres in the old business school are the old dining rooms and the old chapels of the boys' school that was many, many years ago. And it's just beautiful in terms of architecture. And then literally 50 metres to the right of that, I have this brand new juxtaposition of the brand newness of the world-class centre of our West Downs Centre. And I know you've seen the video that Chris showed you just a moment ago, but he was talking over that. I am going to take the liberty of just for 1 minute showing you the video, and hopefully it will have the sound come through as well, because it is, absolutely beautiful. And we talk about sustainability. And I just want to say one thing about sustainability and this building. We secured funding for this building from a bank that only lends to infrastructure projects that have got a sustainability focus. The steel work around this building has been naturally left in the West Downs fields for 18 months to rust naturally, so that we could produce this great position that we've got here. Our new library that's opened up for students, the internal gardens, the circular building you're seeing there with the grass on top, that's one of our 250 brand new lecture theatres. Within this building, we've got 3D printing technology. We've got our design media suite in there as well. We've got contemplation space, so that students can go into these big round circles. You'll see them in just a moment, these big round circles, which have got cushions in there, and you plug in your headphones and you can just move into a tranquility space to take you away from the hustle and bustle and stress. And you may think, well, why has a university done that? The university's done that because we take to heart the students. We want to do things for the students that gives them a great student experience. So let me just run VT, as it were, for literally 1.5 minutes whilst you see the inside of West Downs, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the programmes within my faculty. So I hope as you were watching that, you saw those circular areas with those cushions in. That's where students literally climb up, get themselves into those circular space, chill out, bit of music, take them away from the hustle and bustle and the stress of the education, and just give them that time to reflect.
Impressive.
It is beautiful.
Beautiful.
And right next door to West Downs, that brand new building I showed you there, this picture now is my business school. So just look at the difference, that brand newness of that West Downs Centre. Literally 50 metres to the left of that is my business school. And it is just, you know, this architectural grade 2 listed building we've rejuvenated and brought back to life over a number of years, is where many of the staff from within my faculty, that's where their offices are, and where we do some of our teaching as well. But students coming to Winchester in my business school and the faculty will be over in West Downs in that brand new space being taught. Fantastic. So my faculty, in terms of my departments, I have 4 departments in my faculty: digital technologies, law, economics, accounting and finance, marketing, which includes event management, as well as responsible management and leadership. So 4 departments in my faculty. And now for perhaps the main meat of what, you know, the agents body are looking at in terms of what programs do I have within the faculty that you can then offer to the students who are looking to come to the UK. The first one there is one that when I started here at Winchester, I wanted to develop, and we've just launched this program, a full-time Masters of Business Administration. We've had an executive MBA program for a number of years here, and we recruit well into that program, bringing in the academics that I talked about earlier, really linking with industry on the MBA. But I wanted a full-time MBA program here to offer students who want the MBA badge. And if we got agents here from India in particular, I know how important the MBA badge is for the Indian students. And so this MBA program has been validated, it's all been approved, and that is recruiting for September this year intake. The MBA program requires no managerial experience. We've taken the view that we have an executive MBA within the university, within my faculty, which is focused on the middle to senior management route already. That's the exec MBA. That's a part-time exec MBA. The full-time MBA is open to all students from all walks of life, from regardless of their background. It gives them the badge of the MBA. It is focused around sustainability and entrepreneurship, really focusing in on those United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And this is a brand new program launching in September 21. In that launch, we're also offering a £3,000 scholarship for the MBA. And I'm sure Dave and others can talk, and we'll have questions about the scholarship offering we have to offer. But the MBA, we are offering a £3,000 scholarship to students for those students who can demonstrate to me that they have the equivalent of an upper second degree, a 2-1. So whatever the equivalence of that is in your country, maybe 75 to 80% from China. It could be down in the 60% for India, but yeah, the equivalence of a 2-1, and an IELTS of 6.5 with nothing less than 6.0 in any of the 4 categories. Meet that condition, and we will then offer an academic scholarship to students of £3,000 off the fees for the full-time MBA program. The other programs we've got there, as you'd expect within a business school, you'd expect there to be a Master's in Accounting and Finance. And for September 21 intake, we are running the Accounting and Finance degree. And just to give you a heads up as agents, we are looking to change that program to give it a bit more of a general focus going forward, and moving it to something called an MSc, a Master's in International Financial Management. So the Accounting and Finance program here at Winchester is really geared towards those students that have done accountancy already and want to get a Master's in accounting. And it focused on the traditional things you'd expect around advanced accounting, finance, banking electives, etc., that are in that as well. But for September 2022 intake, we will be changing that program to an MSc in International Financial Management. For September 21 intake, we have the Masters in International Business. And that is slightly different flavour to the MBA program. So it's looking at international business. And for September 2022 intake, we're going to be changing that program to a slightly broader focus and looking at an international business management. But for September this year intake, we have the full-time MBA, we have the Masters in Accounting and Finance, and we have the Masters in International Business. In marketing, we have a great number of programs. So we have a program that focuses on marketing innovation. I think when I get asked questions by students about what they want to do in the marketing space, it's understanding the creativeness around a marketeer. And no longer is it simply you have a marketing function that just regurgitates the same old message from a company. You need to be innovative. You need to be different. You need to be creative, because that innovation in marketing makes you stand out. And I think it's really important now that students understand what marketing innovation is and how that plays a major part in business success. We see so much across the globe now in terms of traditional companies that are not surviving. You know, in the UK, we've seen Debenhams. Debenhams has been on the high street in the UK for 240 years, and it's just been sold out to a digital startup that's been in existence for 3 years. So, you know, how things are changing about the ways in which we bring products to the market, and marketing is so important in that space. So we have the Masters in Marketing Innovation. We also have another Masters in Marketing in Digital Marketing and Analytics. And we focus on analytics, particularly because there is just so much data out there. You look at Google Analytics, you look at web analytics, you look at the big data that exists around the traffic going through websites, and how do companies manage and understand that big data to help drive their company performance going forward. So a real focus here on the analytics side of things. And the analytics does require a bit more of a mathematical, quantitative mindset from students. So the Marketing Innovation Program, creative mindset. The Digital Marketing Analytics Program, a bit more of a mathematical, computational, quantitative mindset, because you are looking at the big data and trying to crunch that through and understand, you know, quite a bit of financial data and Google Analytics data in respect to that. So those two programs I mentioned there, Marketing Innovation as well as Digital Marketing Analytics, we would expect students to have some background knowledge of marketing to be able to deploy their undergraduate studies into the postgraduate education once they come to Winchester. If you find there are students that don't have a great deal of background in marketing, but want to move into marketing management, then we are launching a new program starting in September 21, a Masters in Marketing Management. And that one will be coming through on our website, probably from March onwards. We're going through the final validation stage of that at the moment. And that program is designed for students with no prior knowledge of marketing. They might have done a humanities undergraduate degree. They might have done something in creative writing. They might have done even something in archaeology. I don't know. But you can move into understanding what marketing is. And one of the main reasons that we at Winchester have got so many programs around marketing really focuses on, I think, the careers that students are going to have going forward. I've worked in higher education for 30 years. I think it is very unlikely that any student who's graduating from any university across the world now is going to be in the same job for 30 years. They're going to have a portfolio career. They're going to start off in one career, they're going to morph into something else, change into something else, and they're going to have this much more of an agile career going forward. And I was listening to a presentation by the Strada Institute about 18 months ago now. And they were looking at this portfolio career and where do graduates or where do people change their careers? What do they go into? And it doesn't matter whether you're an engineer or whether you're a chemist or from the science subjects and the business subjects. What the Strada Institute found in their research was that many students or many employees were moving from their first job into something different. And that something different really coalesced around marketing. And it's really weird to think, you know, why do people go from engineering first careers or maybe go from general business first careers or accounting first careers and then move into something which is marketing orientated? And if you just pause to think about it for a while, perhaps one of the reasons is what makes businesses successful? You can have the most successful business, but nobody knows about you. You could have the most successful business, but you're not on the websites. You might have the most successful business, but your operational side of things is backdated to the 1900s. What makes you get your business known? It's marketing. And if you're able to market your company, then you are likely to be much more successful in life. So having an understanding of marketing for whatever walk of life, excuse me, you go into in terms of a company, whether it's in engineering, whether it's in accountancy, whether it's in human resource management, understanding how you need to market your company is so important. You know, I'm sitting here talking to you as a dean of a business school and dean of a faculty, and I'm marketing. I am doing what we all need to do. You as agents are marketing universities to your students. So it's such a core component and understanding how businesses tick, and whether it's being creative, whether it's using the analytics, or just understanding a lot more about marketing management. It is just so important.
I agree with you, Martin. I completely agree with you. Everything what you say now. And I'm doing marketing since 32 years. Of course, to be here with you and to have a clients like the University of Winchester is because marketing is all about marketing. It's about convince people. It's about have a good reputation. It's stay on the change, be on 2021 and move forward. Listen, and reading a lot. One of my biggest part is reading. I like to read newspapers still, online as well, of course, both a newspaper. And I think marketing is today the basis for the agents as well, because if the agents understand all the detail from one university, everything from the tuition fee to the different program to the accommodation, they know exactly how to do a presentation from the University of Winchester, because all about today is the agents need to understand how to present the University of Winchester to the students. And now today you give them all this information and they have to cap this information. They have to understand, okay, now if I have a student come to my door, I can see we have agents coming from many different countries, even from Bhutan today. We have agents coming from Serbia, from Ukraine, Russia, even from South America, from South Korea, India, etc. And China, Hong Kong, Taiwan. I don't want to miss nobody, but what is important when a student come inside, how I can present University of Winchester. And this is the first step. Now you have the tour, which we showed before. The tour was excellent. The virtual tour can give a big help to understand how big is the university, how serious is a public university, is a private university. These are all very important information that every agent has to understand. On top of that, of course, all the different programs, the MBA, marketing, etc. So I agree with you. This marketing today is the most important in our industry.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So that's why we focus so much on marketing. You know, what we want our students to do the best they possibly can. And I want to have that opportunity. So the new marketing management program is giving that opportunity to students who hadn't thought about going into marketing. They might have selected their first degree. There might have been some parental pressure to move into the first degree, but you know, moving on to doing the master's program, the marketing management gives you that breadth of exposure into something which I think is going to be so valuable to your career going forward for all students. So some of the other programs we've got within the business school, project management, these are programs. You could have students who have done a first degree in engineering or even a master's in engineering, the MEng, and want to move into project management. They might be in the field of architecture, but want to move into project management. There might be people who are looking to move into large global organizations and need to understand project management skills. I have project managers working within higher education because we have lots of projects. So the project management degree also links with the Association of Project Managers. Our students go into a competitive competition with other students from other universities. And this just brings this whole area of project management to life for us. You know, we have the values here at Winchester around sustainability and social justice, around the field about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And we're trying to embed those goals into the project management program so that the students enter into a competitive arena with the Association of Project Managers to create a project that is a point of difference. And I'll just share with you one example of what some of our students were doing this year. So think about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and think about sustainability. Here I am, I'm wearing a blue jumper. So you might think, okay, it's a bit strange, but why is he mentioning that? Well, our project management students decided that one thing they wanted to look at was secondhand clothes and what happens to clothes. A lot of people throw their clothes away. Some people might give it to charities, but a lot of people throw their clothes away once it's come to the end of its useful life. But once it's come to the end of its useful life, there's no point giving a jumper which has got holes in it and gone through the elbows or something like that to a charity, because charities often want to have clothes which are usable rather than just to be thrown away. So what the students decided to do was they would take these old clothes and they would, the word I'm looking for is difficult, but they want to deconstruct the jumper. So they want to take it away from being a jumper and take it back to its raw form of fibers. And so they had an idea of this machine that would deconstruct this jumper back to its original form, and then they could use this blue fiber to make new products. And that's just a great way of thinking how we can be much more sustainable in our thinking. Because every time you want to create a new jumper, you've got to use natural resources, you've got to use dyes, you've got to use pollutants that go into the rivers that then kill the fish, that cause environmental damage. So this focus around sustainability, as well as thinking of how we project manage that, was one of the things that's taken our students through the knockout stages at the moment with the Association of Project Managers. So just an example of how sustainability really does weave into the curriculum that we're delivering here and can be a point of difference, I think, for students that are graduating from Winchester. We also have a program which is focused around a Masters in Sustainability and Social Justice. And these may be students who, the Gen Z students of the current times that have really got a focus on wanting the world to be a better place. And so we offer a general Masters in Sustainability and Social Justice that brings together the UN SDGs, focuses around a broad curriculum that enables our students to go into that big world with a real focus on things. And students could go into careers into the UN, could go into charity work, NGOs, the things of that nature with the Masters in Sustainability and Social Justice, or even into the legal profession, looking at that social justice around charities. Within digital technologies, we've got another suite of programs. So within my department of digital technologies, we have programs around cybersecurity, a Masters in Mathematics, information security, and digital media. And I'll just talk briefly about each of those. So cybersecurity, it is amazing. It never fails to amaze me. And I was speaking to some people who were in the UK's top brass only yesterday, looking at the Centre for National Infrastructure Protection. So this is at government level within the UK. And they were talking about cybersecurity within organisations. Some companies across the world within the UK have very good cybersecurity. Why? They have very good cybersecurity because their systems have been hacked and they've needed to fix the holes. Very few companies are proactive in their cybersecurity, really proactive, understanding the threat of cybersecurity. And I think this is a really niche area for students. I've seen students in such huge demand with cybersecurity skills. Our Masters in Cybersecurity is GCHQ accredited. So, the major national UK infrastructure accreditation for our cybersecurity program. It's so important, whether you're a small, medium-sized enterprise, whether you're a big international company, the bad publicity you get from when your systems get hacked and millions of data points get sent out into the world, the Wikipedia, the bad news stories, it can collapse your company. The trust is just evaporated. So understanding cybersecurity is just so important. We offer a Masters in mathematics, and the mathematicians of the future are just amazing minds. So this is a much more thoroughbred academic program in mathematics, but understanding mathematics and understanding fuzzy logic, understanding imperfect data, trying to predict news. Just look at COVID-19, the pandemic crossing the world. What is helping us to model and simulate the transmission and protection? It's mathematics. So a lot of maths goes into the modeling associated with pandemics, with all sorts of business processes. And so a great mind of mathematics is amazing for students. We focus on information security. So that links into our cybersecurity program. And we also have fantastic expertise here at Winchester around digital media, the creative arts type of thing. So whether it's in computer-aided design, 3D, virtual reality, 3D printing facilities here. So we can take your 3D concept that you're working through Adobe, and you can print it out using our 3D printing facilities here at the university and within my faculty in the new West Down Centre. So that gives you a bit of a flavour around some of the programmes that we've got here within the faculty. Some new developments coming forward for 2022, as well as the programs we've got currently offering for September 21. So I'll just recap on that. For September this year, a full-time MBA, the Masters in Accounting and Finance, the Masters in International Business, the Masters in Marketing Innovation, the Masters in Digital Marketing Analytics, the Masters in Marketing Management, Masters in Project Management, Masters in Sustainability and Social Justice, as well as the Masters in Cybersecurity, Mathematics, Information Security, and Digital Media. For September 2022 intake, we will be changing the Accounting and Finance programme to International Financial Management Masters. We'll be changing the International Business programme to International Business Management Masters. The Marketing Innovation programme will be changed to Digital Marketing and Innovation. And the Digital Marketing Analytics program will have a much more hardcore emphasis on marketing analytics. So that's what we have and what we're moving to. The full-time MBA program has a £3,000 scholarship for students that have got a 2-1 or an IELTS of 6.5 with IELTS of 6.0, nothing less than that in each of the 4 categories. And we have other master's scholarships for all of our programs. I believe David can talk a little bit more about them later, but I believe there are £1,000 for the scholarships on all the masters that we have within the faculty and across the university. So I'll conclude by just saying that our passion is our students' success. And I really do want to emphasize that. We want our students to grow, to be confident, and be successful. And I want you to really convey that message across to all the students you want. And I am absolutely committed to that passion and that transformational education experience that we give to students here at Winchester. We want them to be those responsible business leaders of the future, confident, ability to articulate messaging, and also committed to a life of meaning and purpose, to challenge the status quo, to understand what sustainability means, to understand the challenges around the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and really make a difference in the world as they go forward in their career, and feel proud of being an alumni of Winchester, that we've helped them understand what a United Nations Sustainable Development Goal means. We've applied it to the education that we deliver, and we also live by that motto of being a responsible management provider of education. So my final slide then is just to say thank you for listening and to watching, and for the students' message to the agents, get that message across to students. Fantastic facilities, a really pragmatic, business-focused education linked into the rigor of academia from a UK university that has sustainability, social justice, those United Nations Sustainable Development Goals at its core, and a champion university for the principles of responsible management education. These are points of difference that make Winchester stand out and give you the ability to encourage the students to come to the UK and come to a great university where they're going to have a fantastic education experience and get that stepping stone to a future career that's going to be really valuable for them. Richard, back to you.
Martin. Thank you, Martin. You did an excellent presentation. And we just say like this one, well done. It was very, very good. We understand the passion that you put inside in the University of Winchester, and think this is the win-win of everything, because it's all about passion. If you have staff and team and yourself who has so much passion you put inside, then the student can be only happy, because everything starts from the top about the passion. And thank you very much. I think I was very not impressed. I was more than impressed because I can see that you are working with your heart, and this we are very similar on this, and I know how is the feeling. So I think, Martin, very, very good. So ladies and gentlemen, we just listen now to the presentation of Martin, and before that we move on with the testimony of the students, I would like to introduce you a very interesting person, and this is Dr. Ben Sanders. Dr. Ben Sanders will give a presentation about digital futures. So I can see Ben is already here, and as well his background is fantastic. Ben, how are you today?
Yes, good morning. Very well, thank you very much. So the background is actually, this was taken when our new West End development was opened. So it's the centre point of our new fantastic development.
So Ben, we're looking forward to see your presentation. Feel free to share the screen in the meantime. And again, like Martin said before, maybe we stand up for a couple of seconds. We just move a little bit our hand and our feet until we start with the presentation. And we just move a little bit our hand, and we are ready for the next presentation. So Ben, this is very important. You know, after every speaker, I would like that people will make a little bit of gymnastic. It's very important. You know, drink some coffee as well. As you can see, I have here my coffee.
Brilliant.
Italian cappuccino. So Ben, we are all ready now to listen to your presentation. Please.
Okay, thank you very much. So good morning, or could be afternoon, to everybody on the call. So my name is Dr. Ben Sanders, and I work with Professor Martin Broad. So I'm head of department for the Department of Digital Technologies here at the University of Winchester. Okay, so in addition to my role as head of department for digital technologies, I'm also a reader or associate professor in cybersecurity and computer science. So my specialisms revolve around the fields of biometric authentication, security and cybercrime, online gaming and behavioral addiction. So cybercrime is very much a subject that I'm particularly passionate about. So to give you an overview of where the Department of Digital Technology sits. So as Martin's already explained, the Department of Digital Technology sits within the Faculty of Business, Law and Digital Technologies. And within that, we have three distinct areas and three distinct teams of specialist academics. So our computer science and cybersecurity team, we deliver programs on computer science, cybersecurity, data analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, digital forensics, software engineering, risk management, and human-computer interaction. Our digital media team, they focus more on the front end, and they deliver programs and modules in the areas of computer-aided design, augmented reality, web development, 3D printing, user-centered design, graphic design, animation, architectural visualization. And then our mathematics programs, they have more of a focus in statistical analysis, computational methods, surrogate modeling. As Martin said, the more pure mathematics that underpin subjects such as computer science and cybersecurity. So they also have modules, for example, in pluralistic metrics, computational neuroscience, and neuroinformatics. So I'm going to start by giving a broad overview of our computer science programs. So we've got our master's program in cybersecurity. So this essentially is developing, it's a very applied and very technical program. As Martin says, it has been benchmarked against the accreditation criteria for, it was formerly known as GCHQ. It's now known as the National Cybersecurity Centre. And that provides a testimony to the rigor and the quality and the currency of the curriculum that we deliver. So essentially that program develops advanced technical knowledge in the areas of cybercrime, information security management, digital forensics analysis, and network security. So both what we understand to be defensive security, okay, so how we build our defenses, and also what we understand to be offensive security. It's how we teach our students to understand how networks can be compromised, so that they then have those skills in order to build the right defenses to safeguard their networks. The MSc in information security, that has a greater diet of modules that focus on information security management rather than applied cybersecurity implementation. Okay, so it has a more even split of business-related modules to give students a broader understanding of, for example, risk analysis within an organization. Okay. So this essentially enables our graduates to understand and apply security knowledge to recognize and resolve complex threats that are faced by organizations and government bodies. And we also offer the opportunity for students to undertake doctoral level study within the fields of computer science and cybersecurity. Okay, so to give you a little bit more of a granular view of the modules that we deliver as part of the MSc in cybersecurity. So we have secure software development and cybersecurity. So that's where we're teaching the applied principles of where we write software code, that we make it secure at the point in which it's designed. We have cybercrime and the dark web. So essentially, that module delivers advanced understanding of the areas and the places of which online that cybercrime can emerge and where it is committed. Okay, so the dark web being one of those particular hotspots of where a lot of cybercrime is perpetrated and can also be accessed. We have advanced digital forensics. So essentially that's underpinned by the industry curriculum, which is known as NCASE. So advanced digital forensics is the process in which students are able to forensically examine hard drives, laptops, and memory sticks, for example, to extract information that would make it admissible within a court of law. Information security management, so that cuts across both our degree programs. That's about understanding the standards and the legal frameworks in which a profession needs to operate. Network security and penetration testing, that's very much an applied module. Network security focuses on how we secure systems at a network level, and penetration looks at the offensive measures that hackers and cyber criminals take in order to compromise a particular network or workstation or laptop. Academic development research, so that is focused very much on developing students' academic skills and those intertransferable skills, including presentation skills, for example. And then we have a postgraduate project, so that essentially is the major project that our master's students would undertake to deliver a technical artifact as well as a written dissertation. We have other modules such as entrepreneurship, intercultural business communication, strategic management, and multimedia network. So the entrepreneurship, intercultural business communication, and strategic management focus more on the business side of cybersecurity. And multimedia networking looks at depth in how networks operate and communicate and how they transmit different types of data and how that data could potentially be compromised. Okay, so as Martin said, the National Cybersecurity Centre accreditation is particularly important for us, as essentially NCSC certified degrees, they provide a benchmark for cybersecurity curriculum, and that gives assurance as to the quality of both the content and its delivery. So it's a very rigorous process that we have to go through in order to attain it. And it also recognises the excellence in the delivery of applied cybersecurity education. So focusing more on our MSc in information security programme. So as you can see by the slightly different diet of modules, this programme focuses more on how cybersecurity and standards are applied within an organisational context. Okay, so this is more focused for those that want to go into careers such as risk management, okay, and also risk and cybersecurity compliance. Okay, so for example, sorts of careers that graduates in that program could go into would be to work for companies such as Deloitte and PwC. Okay, so moving on to our digital media courses. So our flagship digital media program is essentially our MA in digital media practice. So students undertake 4 core modules, and that's applies across the different pathways in which they can undertake, but I'll go on to explain those in a moment. So those core modules are digital media principles, design practice, emerging media student directed projects, the research proposal, and the major design media practice project or the dissertation. Okay, these programs are very much applied. They work on live client projects, so students get a real first-hand experience of working on projects for real clients, which is really invaluable to them. So we have a number of different pathways as part of our MA in digital media practice, depending on the speciality that students would like to move into. So we have interaction design, visualization, motion graphics, design thinking, and then advertising, marketing, and branding design. So this gives us a broad overview of what those different areas comprise. So we take visualization. So we're looking at data visualization, 3D visualization, and infographic communication, for example. In our interaction design, we're focusing more on narrative and storytelling, UX, UI design, and augmented and virtual reality interaction. In design thinking, we've got design communication and design research. That's more focused in how we design products. In motion graphics, we introduce modules such as transmedia storytelling. And then the final pathway is our advertising, marketing, and branding design, which encapsulates marketing communication and branding design and strategy.
Ben, can I interrupt you for a second, Ben? I think it's a very, very interesting presentation. You really go deeply inside. What we did, and I will speak to the agent in a second, we are recording this presentation. So at the end, when the event is finished, we will create a YouTube link and we will send to you the YouTube link so that you can go through every single details Dr. Ben Sanders is explaining at the moment when you have a presentation in front to the students, because of course you cannot remind everything what Ben is explaining at the moment, because it's quite a lot of information, but with this link that we'll provide to you, it will help you to go through every single details when you have a student who maybe is interested in digital media or cybersecurity, etc. So because I know students will ask you many questions as well. So the reason here at the presentation of the University of Winchester is to go in details about every single program as well. And this is what Dr. Ben Sanders is doing at the moment. I just want to remind to everyone, when Dr. Ben Sanders is finished, we will start to welcome on board 4 testimonials of students who are just here and waiting to speak. And then after the 4 testimonials of students, we will start on the business side. And we will have 3 people from University of Winchester, which will join us, and one will be Nabil, who will explain us a little bit about the business part. We will have Donna, who speak about the commission part, and then we will have as well Nolan, who will explain about all the concept of the cooperation with the University of Winchester. So it's very, very important now that everyone remain here with us and listen to the presentation, because in the end, what will happen, we will then select the agents who will cooperate with the University of Winchester. So it's very important that all the agents remain here, because we will send you as well a form to fill out. The form has to be filled out because they will need to receive many information about your agency, reference, etc. And of course, I will try to help the University of Winchester for you, because I know many of you here today. And thank you very much to listen to all this presentation, to remain on mute modality. And I hope in the meantime, you can have a coffee or tea as well during this 5-6 hour presentation. Ben, please continue. Sorry that I interrupt you for a second, just so you can breathe a little bit.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this gives a broad overview of the areas that are taught as part of the digital media MA in digital practice suite of programs and their pathways. Okay, so we have all of the latest topic areas that are particularly relevant to students and graduates going into the workplace with a postgraduate degree. And so this sets out the broad areas taught, which obviously form part of the different pathways of the MA in digital practice. Okay, and then finally, our mathematics programs. So these are due to launch in 2021. So we have our main MSc in mathematics. So essentially, this program is going to seek accreditation from the Institute of Mathematics. So the MSc, it develops a deep knowledge of advanced mathematics through a vast preference of subjects. And so the main areas of focus are geometry, calculus, algebra, number theory, dynamical systems, and differential equations, to name just a few of the topic areas that the MSc in mathematics focuses on. To complement that, we also have our 4-year integrated master's program. So essentially, that follows the same it follows the same undergraduate years. So that's the first 3 years of our BSc in mathematics. And those subjects are there listed from year 1 to 3. And then in year 4, we introduce areas such as algebra and geometry, advanced applied data and text analysis, and also then students will undertake their final year dissertation. Okay. So these are our new programs, and they will launch in September 2021. So in terms of the entry requirements into our programs, normally we expect a first or second class honours degree or professional experience within the area. We may, on a case-by-case basis, consider a lower degree classification if an applicant could demonstrate a significant level of relevant experience. And then we expect an IELTS of 6.0 with a minimum of 5.5 in writing or equivalent. So what makes our program so special at Winchester? So one of the things I'm particularly proud of is that the department has a range of partnerships with big industry leaders. Okay, so as you recognize some of these on the right. So for example, Adobe, Oracle, IBM, the Certified Information Systems Security Professional body, the Cisco Systems Networking Academy, Fujitsu. So that gives you a good overview of some of the main partners that we have. And that creates a range of placement and graduate opportunities for our students. It also provides us with an opportunity to consult our partners and our partnerships with industry leaders in terms of we have a departmental industry advisory panel. And this is our opportunity to consult these industry leaders to ensure that our curriculum is developing the right skills and that the curriculum is current with the rate in which technology moves forwards. Okay, so we're always ensuring that the curriculum that we are delivering to our students is the very latest and cutting edge. We're also very proud of our student engagement at all levels. Okay, so we have what we call our staff student liaison committees, and that provides our students with a forum in which they can air their views, seek so that they can give feedback on our programs, and it allows us to address any issues or concerns early on to ensure the best possible student experience. Underpinning our programs is our new West Down Centre. So that's a £30 million state-of-the-art learning facility, and that's the same photograph that forms part of my background. So it opened in 2020, and it comes with a number of dedicated laboratories. As I said, the latest labs, the latest technology, and the absolute cutting state-of-the-art equipment. So we have, of particular note, our cybersecurity and digital forensics lab, our enterprise networks labs, our software development and artificial intelligence laboratories, a 3D printing lab, and also a digital media lab that has suites of brand new Mac computers for our students. Okay, so this gives an overview of the types of careers that our students could progress into when they graduate from programs within the Department of Digital Technologies. So in terms of computer science and cybersecurity, we've got roles such as software developer, network security specialist, and penetration testing. In digital media, we've got 4D design engineers, we've got games developments, we've got usability engineers and Adobe specialists. In mathematics, students can progress into careers such as data science and analytics, finance and banking, and business and operational research. And we also have the opportunity, once students graduate from our master's programs, to pursue doctoral level research. So what excites me about our programs? We have an absolutely fantastic team of very, very talented staff, the vast majority of which have PhDs in their specialist fields. All of our staff are actively engaged in interdisciplinary research. And they bring that interdisciplinary research into the classroom as part of our research-informed teaching. And that gives our students access to the very latest concepts in the various fields. We make use of guest lecturers from industry, so many of which come from those companies that I discussed in the earlier slide. And part of that is we maintain very strong links with our employer partners, which then helps it helps our students to move into exciting careers. Okay, thank you very much for your time. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much. Can you give me the screen back, Ben?
Yes.
Yeah. So Ben is now giving me, you just need to, thank you very much. It was a very, very interesting presentation, Ben. And for the agents, they understand a little bit more in details about the different program. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome on board the students. So let's see if the students, let the name, I have some Emily, Amelie, Tyrell, and then we have Ribash. So let's start with Emily. Emily, are you available?
Hello.
Hello, Emily. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. Thank you. Nice to see you again. So
nice to see you too.
First student testimonial for the University of Winchester. So I know that you have some you live in housing. Tell us a little bit how to live in the housing at the University of Winchester, because the campus is quite big. So everyone here is looking forward to listen from a student point of view, how is to live in the housing at the University of Winchester?
Well, at the moment, it is actually very nice because you get to know your flatmates quite well. I've lived in housing this is my third year living in housing. I lived in my first year, my third year, and now my master's year. So you basically, you choose your own housing, then you apply for whatever you feel like is the best thing for you. I chose Queen's Road with Burma as my second choice because I wanted to cook my own food. I wanted to have it more organized how you lived. So in Queens, you are about 5 to 8 people. In my flats, I've always had 6. So yeah, and I had to think of it.
No, don't worry. It's fine. No, it's nice to hear that. So you are a long time now, you're living in Winchester. So what happened during the COVID time? You went back home or you remain at Winchester?
I remained at Winchester for quite a while, and then I left home just before Christmas.
Yes.
And then I've been stuck in Norway for the past couple of weeks.
Okay.
I haven't been able to return to Winchester because flights have been cancelled.
Yeah.
It's been locked down. It's been locked down here. So it's been quite a stretch about how to get back. But I'm hoping to get back soon. So yeah.
So you are from Norway, Emily?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Beautiful place in the world to live. It must be a little bit cold at the moment over there.
Yeah, at the moment it's quite cold. I'm here with heating, coffee, everything just to stay warm.
So you're missing the Winchester time weather. I can see that today the weather in not today, but Winchester is a lot of sunshine, and I can see before we had different speaker, and they all said they enjoyed the nice weather. Then I can see that we have Emily here, which has a similar name like Emily and Amelie. Let's see. Hello, Amelie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, fine, fine. Thank you. And you, are you based now at the moment in Winchester or as well back home?
I'm back at Winchester.
Wow, fantastic. So you study remotely at the moment, or you study inside in the campus?
I'm studying online, so all my courses I'm doing from the accommodation.
So you enjoy your accommodation part at the moment at Winchester. So ladies and gentlemen, like I say, it's very important accommodation for the students. How you feel that accommodation for you, Emily? You feel comfortable? You feel well? Is it the first year for you, or you are there since long time?
Yeah, this is my first year, and I really like it. I also live in Queens.
Yes.
I really enjoy it. It's a nice size in the room, and you have your own bathroom. And I get along with my flatmates, which is really nice.
Nice, nice, nice. And you are originally from Norway as well?
Yes.
Wow. So we have two people from a very small country like Switzerland, from Norway. So you are based in Winchester now. Fantastic. And what about the food? How did you, now that during the COVID, or how did you manage with the food? Are you cooking yourself? You going into the campus? You go to the cafeteria? How did you manage this?
I'm cooking for myself. I usually order groceries online because I don't want to interact in the stores too much. But I do need to go downtown sometimes to get some groceries because there's a waiting time to get groceries sent to your door. So if you need some necessities, you have to go down. But I prefer to order online now during lockdown.
And did you manage to meet other students around the campus?
Yeah, there's other people in my building, so I've been talking a bit to them and going outside on walks with them and stuff to maintain something social and not just be by myself in the flat.
Fantastic, fantastic. I saw a tour before, a live tour from the University of Winchester. I saw the big library, by the way. So did you have an opportunity to go to the library if you can now during the lockdown or not?
I think it's still open. I haven't been there yet during lockdown, but I think I'm still able to use it if I want to.
Interesting, interesting. Then I can see that we have all the students. We have one student and Tyril. He acted in a studio production. So is Tyril available? Hello, Tyril.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. I can see you're quite famous there at Winchester as a student. Is this correct?
I wouldn't say so, no, but thank you.
You acted in a studio production.
I did. I acted with one of our biggest societies, Performing Arts Winchester. They put on a musical last year, and they put on the musical Pippin.
Wow, fantastic, fantastic. It's a long time that you study at Winchester, Tyril?
This is now my second year.
Second year. And what did you study at the moment at Winchester?
I study musical theater.
Musical theater. Very nice. And what about the accommodation? You stay at the campus accommodation, or how it works with you?
I'm now off campus, but last year I lived in Queens.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. And you study online as well at the moment, or what?
Yeah, I still study online.
Okay, okay. So you don't manage to get around with all the students?
No, I don't. I'm at home as well, so I haven't been able to go back to Winchester. So I just communicate with them online.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Thank you very much, Tyril, to be on board. And then we have another one, and this is Ribash. Ribash is a student as well. Let's see if Ribash Sharma is available. Hello, Ribash. You have to unmute yourself.
Yes,
Yeah, tell us a little bit. From which country are you coming from?
I'm from India.
Wow. From which place in India?
I'm from Delhi. Yeah.
I went to Delhi 2 times in my life. It's
Okay.
a very nice city, a lot of things to do, very busy city, very, very nice. I had a great experience at 2 events over there. So tell me a little bit, you had some experience with the visa, and how did Winchester assist you?
Yeah, I mean, Winchester helped me assisting with me with the visa. They referred me to a agency that was SI UK that kind of helped me in every path of the way of the visa. By when I applied for the visa, the fees, the form, how to fill the form, what to fill, and yeah, how to keep my records, everything with my documents, everything. So they helped me in each way for the visa process, and that kind of eased my tension before coming here, because at that time there was also fear of COVID. So they kind of helped me out of the way in each possible way. Yeah, so it was great to have someone to help you for the visa, because I didn't know anything about the process.
So this is very important, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about a student coming from India, study at the University of Winchester. Since how long you studied there, by the way, Ribash?
I'm doing my master's, which started in just last year, September 2020.
So you started during the COVID time.
Yeah.
And how long it took for you to get the visa, just to have an idea?
I mean, I applied for the visa process was kind of very quick. I got my visa in like 8 days. When I applied, the time when I applied and the time when I received it was just 8 days of duration. Yeah, 8 days.
So this is excellent, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is all about. In the end of the day, what we need as an agency, we need to work with excellent university. We need to work with excellent university who help our students to get the visa, to get the CAS letter, to pay back the commission fast. This is all about timing. We are in 2021. Like the Dean Martin just said before, it's all about timing. We are now in 2021. We need to work fast. We need to give a support to our students. And Ribash just explained, I never spoke to Ribash. This was my first time I spoke to him. He can say this. And it came out of my mind to ask him, because he's coming from India, he's not coming from Europe, to ask him how was the visa process, how long it will taking, how the University of Winchester assist him. This is very, very important. When a student is telling me this, for me is already a win-win. For me, it's done. So cooperate with Winchester is very important. We have David here. He's the head of international recruitment. David, I think you agree with me that today the assistance for students to get the visa is fundamental.
Oh, it's absolutely crucial, because the regulations are changing all the time. So universities have a responsibility for well-being for their students, and our agents, of course, to provide a service that is appropriate, timely, and easy. So my colleague Nabil will shortly be talking about the visa processes. But before we go on to the next speakers, Richard, I think all 4 of our students, Rishab, Emily, Amelie, and Tyrell, all have experience of our airport pickup service as well. Part of the service we provide for our students. So it might be interesting for perhaps Emily, sorry, to say a little bit about the airport pickup we organise. Well, I organise.
So tell us, Emily, a little bit about how is the transfer service made from the airport when you came? Did you have someone waiting for you at the airport?
Yeah, so basically all you have to do after you've applied and made Winchester your firm is to fill out a form which is sent out to the international team, which just tells them what flight you're coming with, when you're coming, and what airport you're coming at, like what terminal at Heathrow you're coming at. And they will basically stand at the airport, help you find a way to the bus and get you to Winchester, and also help you find your accommodation once you arrive to Winchester. So basically, I've been helping out this for 3 years. My first year when I came to Winchester, there was students waiting for us at the airport. They just ticked us off a list, helped the luggage down to the coaches, and got us onto way to the university. And while helping with this, it's a big operation where they send students up to the airport, just have everything ready, just to greet students, make sure everyone gets everything with them, and make sure that everyone just gets to the university safely. And because this year was quite different as well, because we weren't allowed to get get students up to the airport. A couple of us Norwegians, just because Norwegians were basically the biggest flight from Norway to Winchester with 50 students. We were sending 2-3 ambassadors in order to collect the students at the airport in Oslo and bring them over to Winchester, call the coaches and get them to the university.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much to share this information. And what about you, Tyrell? Tell us a little bit. You are now 2 years at Winchester, and I think I saw the campus is fantastic, and I can see that there is a new part of the campus, a building new is excellent. How you feel to study there? I mean, is a very interesting campus, it's nice, or it's a big campus, it's a small campus? How you feel going there every day?
I think that our campus is a good combination between old and new. We have these older buildings like the business school that used to be an all boys school, and now we have this new building right next to it. And it's a quite small campus, so you get around quite quickly. There is basically just a big one road that takes you all over campus. So you can walk across at 5 minutes time or something like that.
Yes.
So it's big enough to not like get bored of it, but you feel at home quite easily at this campus.
So this is the part of the student, they feel like to be at home. This is what we want to hear from a student, feel like to be at home. Ribash, you have the same feeling?
Yeah, I just want you, it's Rishabh.
Sorry, Rishabh, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the campus is, again, I would agree with Jill that, yeah, it's a combination of old and new. So the business school is still the old building, but if you have and all the tech stuff, all the high-end PCs are in the new building. Plus, where the cafeteria and the libraries, that road is pretty, good, where you can just walk and take a look around the architecture of the university. And yeah, it's been, I mean, the cafeteria, all that kind of gives you a good feeling, and it's very near to the train station, so you can just walk from the Winchester station. They're just a 10-minute walk. So yeah, overall it's been good. And I really love the architecture, like just to see the buildings. And it was my first time when I saw everything, I was really amazed by the architecture. So yeah, it's been good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to all of you, all 4 of you. Thank you to be here today. And now we move on, because we are now entering the most part. The interesting part is the business side, the commercial part, the commission part. And we welcome on board here Nabil and his colleague Elton. First of all, I want to say hello to Nabil. Nabil, please unmute yourself. It will be very kind to mute yourself. How are you, Nabil?
Hi, Richard. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Excellent. And can you see me also?
I can see you very well. Everything is fine.
Perfect.
Everything is nice. Very important. Thank you very much to be here today and to give this very important presentation, the commercial part, which is followed by you, Elton, and then Donna. Now, I presume Elton is here as well. I just want to see if Elton is available. Yes, I can see that Elton is available, and he is preparing the presentation for Nabil. So Nabil, the screen is yours. I can see the presentation. Everything is clear on my side. You can start.
Okay, so welcome everybody. My name is Nabil Noor, and I'm part of the international recruitment team at the University of Winchester. And I basically look after all the students and our agent network and partners in the whole of Africa, the Middle East, and also the Indian subcontinent, as well as some other countries around the world, like in Europe. So if you're an agent based in any of those regions of the world, I'll be your main point of contact. Richard, can you hear me fine? Is everything clear?
Everything is perfect, Nabil.
Wonderful, wonderful. Right, so I'm going to go to the next slide now. So today I'm going to discuss a few points with you. The first point I'm going to discuss with you is the new student visa route. And this replaces the Tier 4 visa that I'm sure many of the agents who've been working in the UK are familiar with the Tier 4 visa. So the Tier 4 visa is now gone, it's out of the window, and we have the new student route, which I will talk about. I will also talk about the next topic, which is the visa and CAS process at the University of Winchester. Now, every university will have a slightly different procedure for helping students with getting their CAS and getting their visa process done. And I'm going to talk about how we do it at Winchester in order to make it as easy as possible. I'm also going to talk about, next topic, the graduate route. And the graduate route is newly introduced. It replaces the old post-study work visa. The UK, some years ago, used to have a post-study work visa, was very, very popular. And then the government, for political reasons, decided not to continue with it. So for a number of years, students coming from abroad, coming to the UK to study, it was very difficult for them to stay on after their studies to work in the UK. But now the government for this year is introducing the new graduate route, which allows students to stay back in the UK and work after the studies. I'm going to talk about that as well. So the next point, I'm also going to talk about the scholarships that we offer at the University of Winchester. So we have a wide range of scholarships. I'm going to give you information about that because I know from my experience that this is one of the key things that students always look for, no matter where they come from, even if they come from wealthy backgrounds. Everybody wants a discount. Everybody wants a scholarship. It's just human nature. So I'm going to talk about that. Next slide, please. Right, so the first topic I'm going to talk about is the student route, formerly known as Tier 4. Now, what is the new student route? Next. Right, the new student route is a point-based visa system for all international students, including EU and EEA. Now, EU is the European Union, and EEA are countries like Switzerland, Norway, and Iceland, in addition to the EU. Now, these students, they need to have this new student route. So if they want to study in the UK, they need to come through this route. Now, because of Brexit, EU students and EEA students now need a visa as well. Before Brexit, when the UK was still part of the EU, we could get students from France, from Switzerland, from Norway, from many European countries. They did not require a visa. Now, unfortunately, because of Brexit, they do need a visa. Next, please. So how does it work? The new student route is a point-based system. So applicants need 70 points in total in order to get their visa. Next point, please. So we have confirmation of acceptance of studies. And I think most people just know it as CAS, right? So any agent who's been recruiting students for the UK and has helped the students with their visa process knows what a CAS is. And this is pretty much the same. It carries 50 points. So you can see 50 points out of 70 points is the CAS itself. Next, please. So as with Tier 4, universities will continue to issue a CAS to students who have been given an unconditional offer of study. We as university, we cannot give a CAS for someone to apply for a visa if they still hold a conditional offer. So if there are any academic conditions, you know, they haven't got their results, the final results, or they maybe still need to do an English exam or something, we cannot issue a CAS. We can only issue a CAS for an unconditional place of study. Next, please. Then we have 10 points for finance. Now, this is very, very important because my experience in recruiting international students for more than 25 years now in various institutions is that this is one of the points that results in the highest number of visa failure rates, is the financial side of things. Next, please. Right, Applicants need to provide evidence that they can afford the tuition fees, approximately 13,800. So we as a university, our tuition fees are pretty much straightforward. For most of our postgraduate master's courses and undergraduate courses, the fees are 13,800. Now, there are some courses like nursing or MBA where the fee will be higher, it'll be different, but overall, most of our fees are 13,800. So in order to apply for a visa, they need to show they have this amount of money minimum. On top of that, they need to have living costs. Now, the living cost is not set by the university, it's set by the UK government. They say anybody living outside of London needs £1,023 per month to live in the UK. That would cover things like food, accommodation, and so on. And they make it for 9 months. So for living costs, students have to show a total of 9,207 for 1 year. So if a student is coming in for a master's course, which is 12 months, they only have to show living costs for 9 months. Okay, so that's quite important. Now, if a student is applying for a visa for undergraduate, where the course is 3 years, they only have to show that they have tuition and living costs for the first year, for only 1 year. So even if the course is 3 years or 4 years, it doesn't matter. They only have to show the funds for 1 year to get the total visa for the whole length of the course. Okay. Now, applicants can deduct a few things from the amount of money they have to show in order to apply for the visa. So next, please. The first thing they can deduct is the deposit that they need to pay the university for the CAS. Like I mentioned earlier on, it's 50 points to get the CAS. So in order for us as a university to start the CAS process, we need a deposit of 2,000. Now this 2,000 is actually part of the tuition fee. So if the tuition fee is 13,800, the 2,000 is not extra, it's part of that tuition fee, okay? And they need to pay that in advance in order to get the CAS. If there's a visa refusal or anything like that, and it's not the student's fault, sometimes things just happen, we will refund that deposit back to the student. Next, please. Now, the students can also deduct £1,265, according to the UK government, if they are staying in university campus accommodation. Only 1,265. So do not get your students to pay more than that. So if students pay £4,000, they can only deduct 1,265. That is very important. We've had students who have paid 3,000, 4,000 towards accommodation in advance, but for the visa, they can only deduct 1,265 as part of their living costs. All right, so that's a maximum level that is set by the Home Office. Now, they cannot make any deductions for their living costs if they're staying with family. So a student applying for a visa cannot say, I don't need to show 9,207 for my living costs because I'm living with my uncle in Winchester, or I'm living with my friend, I'm living with my brother or sister. The Home Office say we cannot make any deductions if you live with friends or family. You still have to show the full living costs for the year, which is 9,207, as I mentioned earlier. Next, please. You can also deduct any scholarships. Now, as I will mention later on, the University of Winchester does offer a very wide range of scholarships, and we will award the scholarship before the student applies for their visa. And the scholarship amount can be deducted from the tuition fee. So if a student gets a £1,000 scholarship, that we deduct from 13,800. So they only have to show money in their account of 12,800. That will also be mentioned on the CAS. All right, next, please. The final 10 points, so 50 points for the CAS, 10 points for the finance, and 10 points now for English. All right, English language requirement is 10 points. Next, please. The level of English required will be the same as with Tier 4. So actually, in this terms of English language, there is no change in terms of the level of English required from the old system tier 4 to the new system. It is still IELTS 5.5 with 5.5 in each component. That is CEFR B2 level or equivalent. There are other English language exams that are acceptable, and that's why we always say CEFR B2 level equivalent. Next, please. Right, now, if a student needs to take one of the Home Office's approved secure English language test, which we often refer to as CELT, as evidence of English language ability, then the CELT must show that they have achieved the required score in each of the 4 components. Now, I'm sure as agents, you know all about IELTS, you know that it covers 4 components: listening, speaking, writing, and reading. Each component must be no less than 5.5. Now, we've had cases in the past where students may do an IELTS exam. They get 5.5, 6, 5.5, and then one component is 5. We cannot accept that for the visa. It has to be minimum 5.5 in each component. If they do a second exam, we cannot get grades from 2 different tests and mix and match. It has to be 5.5 from one single sitting, one single exam. I've had cases where an agent would say, well, I've got 2 IELTSs here. The student is good in 3, but low in 1, but he's done another IELTS where he's better in writing. Can we combine the 2? Unfortunately, we can't. Now, all these rules has nothing to do with the university. This is from the UK government. All right, next point, please. So the government has, just to complicate things even further, the government has introduced what they call differentiation arrangements. Now, some agents in some countries may be familiar with this term. It is not available everywhere. So let me explain. Next, please. Right, the Home Office has different rules for low risk applicants. Now, it's not us as the university that decide who's a low risk applicant, all right? So please, if you're not in that category, don't blame the university. This is the Home Office, it's the British government who say who is in the low risk. So, whereby students from some countries don't need to provide evidence of their qualifications or financial requirements. These countries are listed in paragraph 22 of Appendix ST of the immigration rule and include countries in the EU and EEA. So since the UK used to be part of the EU, now that EU students from France, from Belgium, from Germany, or EEA like Norway, they all need visas, but because there's this long-standing relationship that goes back before Brexit, the UK government categorizes these students as low-risk applicants. And when these students apply for a visa, they don't need to show any bank statements. They don't need to show they've got enough money. They don't need to show their documents or anything like that. All right. Now, the list is updated regularly. So I would strongly recommend to agents to continuously have a look at the list, because your country might suddenly appear on that list or might suddenly disappear off that list. So please keep that in mind. Next, please. So it is important to note that low risk applicants, okay, may still need to provide evidence of the qualifications and funds. This is because the Home Office can request this evidence as part of the decision-making process and can refuse a visa. So what they're saying is, if you're from a low-risk country, you don't need to provide anything, but we may ask you for it. So just in case, have those documents ready in case the British Embassy or the British High Commission turn around and say, normally we wouldn't ask you, but I think we want to see your bank statement, or we want to see copies of your qualifications. So although it is not necessary for low-risk applicants to provide this information, they may need to. They should have it just in case. I thought to mention this because we've had cases where this has been a problem in the past. I'm just trying to save you the trouble. Right, next slide, please. Now, the student route, so this is the new Tier 4 route, allows students to work in the UK. Does it allow students? Yes, it does. As with Tier 4, students applying through the student route are allowed by the Home Office to work up to a maximum of 20 hours per week during term time. So any student coming in under the old system, Tier 4, or the new system, the student route, can work 20 hours a week on campus, off campus, anywhere. Maximum 20 hours a week during term time. During the holidays, they can actually work as much as they want. There is no restriction on working hours outside of term time. So during the vacations, when the university is not in session, students, there's no limit until how many hours they can work. Right, next point, please. Now, students undertaking a foundation program are seen differently by the government, and they restrict their working hours to only 10 hours per week. Excuse me. So if a student is coming in for a 1-year foundation plus a 3-year bachelor degree, so 4 years, the first year that they're studying with us at Winchester as a foundation student, they can only work 10 hours a week during the semester. But as soon as they then go on to year 1 of the degree, they can then work unlimited hours during their holidays and 20 hours during semester. So it increases. I don't know why the government have this difference between foundation and degree. All I can do is give you the information. Right, next point, please. Right, so how much does it cost to get a visa? Very good question. Next point, please. Right, a student visa application costs £348 if applying from outside the UK. And for some reason, it's £475 if you apply from within the UK. So it is more expensive for an international student to apply for their student visa if they're in the UK than if they're back home in their country. Not sure why this is. Again, this is Home Office information there. Right, next point, please. Now, in some countries, there's a priority service available to speed up the visa process application. However, there's a fee for this. So we, as a university, we always encourage students to apply for their visa as early as possible. Now, we encourage students to apply June, July. Sometimes, for whatever reasons, students apply late or there's some delay and they end up having to apply for their visa in August or maybe early September with the course starting middle of September. So there's not enough time to go through the normal visa process, which can take quite some time. So in that case, in some countries, the British Embassy or British High Commission have express service, which is a speedy service. So instead of the visa taking weeks, it can take days, but you have to pay. So I can't tell you how much because that price differs from country to country. So you'll need to contact your the British Embassy, wherever you are, and find out how much it will be for this express service. But it is not free, it's an additional cost. That's why when we say, please apply for your visa early, it is also to save you money. So you don't rush later on helping your students to get their visa late. Right, next point, please. Right, the visa applicants have to pay the immigration health surcharge in advance. So this is for students to be able to have access to national health service, to healthcare, to have a doctor, to go to hospital in case of emergency. It used to be free, no longer. There is a national health surcharge, they call it, and students have to pay for this when they apply for their visa. Seems a bit unfair, but that's how it is. And the charge for that is £470 each year. So if a student is coming for a 1-year master, they only pay the visa application fee. If they are, let's say, applying from India, is £475 plus £470. Because it's a 1-year course, they only pay one health charge. But if the student is coming for 3 years, they have to pay 3 times £470. And that is during the visa application. So do keep that in mind when you're counseling your students. If they're coming for undergraduate for a 3-year degree, in addition to the visa application charges, they have to pay this immigration because 3 times 470 is quite a bit of money to pay up front. Okay, so do keep that in mind, please. Next point, please. Right, like I said earlier on, the visa and CAS process at the University of Winchester may be different from other universities that you work with. Every university will have a slightly different process. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our process to give you an idea how we operate. So what are the requirements for the university to issue a CAS? Next, please. Students must accept the unconditional offer through UCAS or by email. Now, it is very important. The way the university works is for us, for the system at the university, to be able to generate a CAS number, a CAS letter for your student to be able to apply for their visa. On the system at the university, they must show that they've accepted our unconditional offer. We've had cases where students don't accept the offer, they just get an unconditional offer and suddenly say, oh, I need a CAS now. Yeah, but you need to accept, you have to say to Winchester, yes, I actually want to come. Thank you for the offer. I really want to come and study MBA. I accept to come. We need that. So if they have applied through UCAS, they need to go on UCAS and accept. And this is what we call firm choice. So we are your firm choice. It's terminology. If the student has not applied through UCAS and they apply directly, then we need email confirmation from the student or you as the agent that the student wants to come. Then we can go on the system, say, yes, this student wants to come to Winchester, then we can generate a CAS. So please keep this in mind. Next point, please. Right, as I mentioned earlier, there's a deposit payment. Now, there's a payment of tuition fee deposit of £2,000 that we need to have at the university in order to get the CAS generated. Now, there are two major ways of payment. There's the online, so on the university portal, we were going to give you a link, and then you can just pay, or the student can just pay £2,000 on the portal, via the portal. It's an online shop, online store, or by bank transfer. I know in some countries like India, for example, they prefer to go to the bank and do a bank transfer. That's fine, as long as we in the international office, so it would be me in that case for countries like India and Bangladesh and so on. I just need confirmation of when the payment was made with a reference number so I can check with our finance office. Okay, next please. The CAS application form has to be completed. So there's a form, it's not complicated form, it's a very simple form, but we need a form to be filled out. Now you can fill it out on behalf of your student or you can get the student to fill it out, but we need that form completed and signed in order to generate the CAS. Later on my presentation, there will be a link to this form, so you can just download it. Okay, next. We need copies of the passport and qualifications to be sent to university. Now, some agents we work with, they're absolutely super, they're brilliant. When we get the application, through UCAS or whatever, we get a copy of the passport, we got a copy of the qualifications. We already have everything on the system. So when we receive the instruction that the student wants a CAS, we receive deposit, we already have all the information. We can just go on the system and we can generate the CAS straight away. This is unfortunately not always the case. Sometimes copy of passport is missing or the qualification is missing. You have to think that we as a university, in order to generate the CAS, all this information, passport number, the name of the student, the qualification title, all that has to be in the CAS. And if there's a mistake, the visa can be refused. So it's a very important, as I mentioned earlier on, the CAS has 50 points out of 70. So if we get the CAS wrong, it is a very big problem. So please make sure that we have up-to-date passport copies and qualifications sent to us so that we can generate a CAS. Next point, please. Now, we need also confirmation, preferably from you as our partners overseas, that you have actually checked the students' documents, and we need you to verify that they have enough funds to cover their tuition and living. So in my previous slide, I said how much money they need for tuition and how much they need for living. We need you as our partner to confirm. We don't want to have copies of lots of bank account statements. We can't. We're dealing with students from all around the world, and we can't have everybody sending us copies of bank statements in different languages. We're going to rely on you as our partner, that you have checked those, you've verified them, and you are happy that this student has the financial capacity to be able to come and to study at Winchester. Again, like I said, the finance is one of the key problems in terms of visa refusal. Right, next, please. So what happens after all the CAS requirements are met? So in the previous slide, I talked about all the requirements in order to generate the CAS. What happens next? What happens after? The university will normally issue a CAS within 5 working days. Now, often we do it much quicker, but I'd rather tell you it's 5 days than to tell you it's 2 days and we can't match 2 days. We do it as quickly as we can. Again, it depends on you and your student if we have all the information. If we get a CAS request on a Monday and we don't have a copy of passport and we got the copy of passport after 4 or 5 days, you can't expect us to generate a CAS within just 1 day. We need around 5 working days, providing we have all the information. And that will be up to you to provide us with that. Okay, next point, please. The CAS will be sent by email, okay, and needs to be checked by you. Now, we've had requests in the past, oh, why don't you print the CAS on headed paper and send it by courier? There's no need. Everything can be done on email, and the British Embassy, British High Commission, the Home Office, they're happy with CAS emails. However, we need you to check. Now, we have people working at the university who are very good, they're professional, but there's always human error. People make mistakes. You send us a copy of the passport. When we do the data entry, instead of number 7 on the passport, we put number 2, you know, or the name is slightly misspelled, right? Especially for us, some of the foreign names are very difficult for us. So it's very easy to make a spelling mistake. So when we issue the CAS, we don't want you to get the email and just print it off and go off and apply for the visa. Please, please, please check the CAS. Have a look, make sure the passport number is correct, the date of birth is correct, make sure that the qualifications are all correct, everything. And then you go to the next step. Next, please. You also need to check that the funds have matured for 28 days before applying for the visa. So part of, and this is not new, the Tier 4 system, which is for many years now, that rule existed. You need to show money for 28 days in your bank account untouched. And the money I mentioned earlier is your fee and your living costs for 1 year. That has to be in your account. You can deduct scholarship, you can deduct deposit payment, but that money has to be in your account, well, you as the agent, the student's account, for 28 days. It has to be in the student's name or the parent's name. No brother, no sister, no uncle, no company. We've had visa refusal on the basis it was a company bank account or it was a cousin bank account. It has to be in the student name or the parents, nothing else. 28 days. We've had visa refusal on a money had matured only for 27 days. Even 1 day makes a difference. Right, next point, please. Please ensure that no further payments for tuition or accommodation are made to the university once the visa application has been submitted. Once you apply for the visa, it's very difficult for us to update the online system with the Home Office. So if you have paid, let's say, 2,000 deposit, then you submit the visa application and suddenly say, oh, I want to pay another 5,000 now. It's very difficult for us to inform the Home Office and to update the system. So please make sure that once you've submitted the visa application on behalf of your student, no additional payments, because we cannot update the system easily. Next point, please. Please keep the university updated with regards to the visa application. Excuse me. You may assume that, okay, University of Winchester in the UK, we work very closely with the Home Office. The Home Office will tell us if a student gets their visa. They don't, right? So we would appreciate greatly if you can tell us, hey, my student got his visa, or oops, there's a problem, or there are delays. We like to know everything. We will not know whether a student visa has been granted, has been successful, has been rejected, or if there are delays. So we rely on you to tell us. We expect students to arrive by middle of September. If there are delays and the student is likely to arrive 1 week late or 2 weeks late, let us know. Don't just keep quiet. Please keep us in the loop, right? We're partners in this. Next, please. Right, here's some useful links. Yeah, you can just show them all, that's it. Now, the links, the first 2 ones are government links. So the first one talks about student visa in general. And what I've done in this presentation, I just picked out the main bits. So that will be there in much more complicated language. The next one is finance. Again, that is very, very important. So do have a good look at that in terms of financial background, but I've already given you the main points. Also, UCAS have a much more easy to understand information about the visa route. The UK government website, the language sometimes is very difficult to understand. They don't necessarily have it in simple language. UCAS do it much, much better. So do refer to that as well. And the final link I have on here is the CAS request form. If you remember, I mentioned earlier on that in order for us to generate a CAS, we need a CAS form to be completed. Now, I don't want to click on this or anything because then the whole presentation might crash on me. But if you click on that, you can just download the form yourself. And it's a very simple form, but without this form sent to us, we cannot generate a CAS for your student. Right, next, please. Right, now comes the interesting part. This is the graduate route, formerly post-study work visa. So the post-study work visa, as I said, was extremely popular. A lot of students from around the world used to come to the UK for their studies with this in mind. I want to go for a one-year master, and then I want to stay back. Now, that was available for many years, and then the government changed, and they stopped that from happening. They have now brought it back, but it's no longer called PSW. It's not called post-study work visa. It's called the graduate route. And it is fantastic. It is much, much better than the old system. So what is the new route? Next, please. The new route will be available, it's not available yet, will be available to anyone completing an undergraduate or postgraduate degree. So any bachelor or master's degree in the UK from the summer of this year. All right, so it will be available. So all the information I'm giving you now is what we know to date. Now, the government might make some tweaks, they might make some changes. What we know, we will let you know, but this is what we know so far. All right, so it'll be available from this summer. Next, please. It will allow students to stay in the UK for up to 2 years after they graduate with no restrictions on the type of work they do. Okay, but this cannot be extended. So previously, you could only stay with high-level jobs, right? Now, even if you finish an MBA and you want to become a bus driver, or there are no restrictions. The government cannot say, we will not grant you the graduate route because the job you're doing is not related to your degree, or because it's a low-level job. So the new route, your student can do anything. After they graduate from Winchester, after their bachelor's or their master's, they will get that for 2 years. But it cannot be extended. So 2 years is the maximum stay under this graduate route. Next, please. Now, under the old route, there was a minimum salary level. So if you wanted to stay back, you had to earn a certain amount of money. No longer the case. There is no minimum salary level. So even if students make very little money, they're allowed to apply for the graduate route. Okay, next, please. Students don't need to be in work to qualify. So if a student has just finished their degree, just finished their master's, and they're looking for a job, they can apply for the graduate route, even if they're not working, even if they're looking for work. Previously, you could not do it. You had to have a job offer in order to get your post-study work visa. You had to pass the interview, you had to have the company to offer you a job. Then you could apply. Now, even if it takes you 6 months to get a job, 1 year to get a job, you can still have the graduate route, which is very, very good. Next, please. Yeah, next line, thank you. Right, there is no English language or financial maintenance requirement. So as I mentioned earlier, in order to get your student visa for your student, they need to show funds. Once they then go on to this type of visa, they don't need to show any money at all, zero. And also, because they have already completed their degree in the UK or their master's, they don't need to do any English exam either. Next, please. Students will need to apply for the graduate route before the student route or Tier 4 visa expires. So you have students now in the UK who are currently on a Tier 4 visa. they need to apply for this graduate route before their current visa expires. That is key. Not for your student to wait until they finish their studies, graduate, and then apply. Make sure they apply before they finish their current program at university. Not Winchester, any university. Next, please. Some students have dependents. So if we have a student coming to Winchester, he might want to bring his wife, or the wife might want to bring her husband, or maybe there's a family coming with children, okay? So dependents already in the UK as a student dependent may apply at the same time for this new visa. New joining dependents are not permitted. So in other words, if you have a student who's already in the UK under Tier 4 or under the new student route, and they already have husband, wife, spouse with them, these can also apply to stay on. But you cannot have someone finishing their master's course and then bringing their spouse from overseas. Okay, so it's important for the spouse and the family member to be in the UK whilst the student is still studying. All right, next point, please. Right, what happens after the 2 years finished? So at the end of the 2-year period, students will need to leave the UK, or if they like it so much, they can apply for a different visa. Now, under the old system, it was called Tier 2. Now we call it skilled worker visa. Okay, so after the 2 years is finished of this new route, either the students say, okay, I've got my experience, I've earned my pound sterling, I'm going to go back home, I miss my family, or, oh, I love it here in Winchester in the UK, I want to stay on, then that's fine, but you cannot extend. You have to apply for a different visa, which is called the skilled worker visa. Right, next, please. Right, that brings me on to the final subject of my presentation today, which is scholarships. Again, a very interesting thing that students always ask about and agents always ask about. Do you have scholarships? Yes, we do. Now, we have international taught master scholarship. Now, the key word is they're taught. There's not available for research, for PhDs and research master. It's only for taught programs, and most of our courses are taught. So for MBA, MSc, international business, all these courses are taught. It's an automatic £1,000 scholarship that gets deducted off the tuition fee. So as I mentioned earlier, most of our courses are £13,800. 1,000 will be deducted, and that will be mentioned on the CAS. So the fee actually is only 12,800. This is automatic, no application process, no forms to fill out. There's no IELTS or anything. If the student has got all the requirements, they've got an unconditional offer, they will automatically get 1,000 off, which is excellent. Next, please. We have another one, which is for our new MBA program, not for the executive part-time one. This is for the full-time one, and it's a £3,000, very, very generous, merit-based. Now, as long as a student has IELTS 6.5 and has the equivalent of a second-class upper UK equivalent. So let's say in India, there will be like first class or first division. Every country, the marking system will be different, but we can advise you what it equates to. But for the UK, it's what we call a 2-1 or second upper. Then they will get a £3,000 merit. There's no application process. We know all the information from the student on the system when they applied. We can see, oh, this student got IELTS of 7. This student's got this percentage, this GPA. Therefore, they will get 3,000 in scholarship. If a student only has IELTS of 6, because the MBA actually only requires IELTS of 6 to get admission, but for the scholarship, they need a bit higher, 6.5, then they wouldn't get it. So there's no need to fill out forms or anything. This is something university does by itself. And it's £3,000 off, and it will be mentioned on the CAS as well. Right, there's a final scholarship coming up. Next, please. The International Student Scholarship, right? This is our third kind of scholarship, and this is 1,000. But this one, unlike the former ones I discussed, is application-based. There is an application form which will send to you, and you can help the student to fill it out. The student will put down all the informations, they have to write a personal statement of why they deserve a scholarship. Why should Winchester University give you £1,000 off? So it is not the normal statement of purpose or personal statement that they write when they apply. This is like a special letter that they have to write of why, you know, we as university should give you £1,000 scholarship. They will obviously fill out the form, send it to us. There's a committee that meets up in early summer. And then if the students are awarded a scholarship, we will let them know. And then again, like before, it will be mentioned on the CAS and it will be deducted from the tuition fee. Now, those 3 scholarships is what we know of at the moment. Now, things change. If there's any more scholarships or if there's any change to the rules to these scholarships or the amounts may increase, we will let you know as soon as we know in the international office. Next, please. That brings me to the end of my presentation. I hope it wasn't too boring. Talking about visas and home office is not the most interesting subject, but I've tried to condense it as much as I could and to make it right to the point. And I want to thank Elton or whoever was in the background changing those slides for me today. So Richard, over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nabil. It was an excellent presentation. And I think it was very, very important for all the agents to understand how is the new system to get the visa for entry in the UK and about the CAS letter, etc. I think it was very, very, very deeply insight again. I mean, we have one presentation after the other. I can see David is here with us at the moment. Hello, David. How is everything at the moment?
That was fine. Nabil, on behalf of the university, thank you. That was a masterclass in visas and scholarships. A lot of the agents on the chat, Nabil, are asking if they can have a copy of your presentation, please.
Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah.
Richard, what we'll do is we'll circulate to the entire agent list Nabil's excellent visa presentation. Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect, perfect. And then we move on now. We are quite in the end. We have 2 more presentations. The end will be the most important part. This is the commercial part. But before to go to the commercial part, we have one more presentation from Elton. Elton, if you're on board, can you please show yourself?
Hello, good evening, and good evening,
hello.
good morning, good afternoon. No matter where you are, thank you very much for your patience and time today. Yeah, and I'm gonna present a very quick and short presentation about how to apply and when to apply University of Winchester. Okay, just hang on for a sec. Let me share my screen.
Yeah.
Elton, before you do that, can you tell us a bit about who you are, where you're from, and which countries you look after?
Yeah, no problem. I sit with David, Nabil, and Donna at the International Student Recruitment Team. I look after China and Southeast Asia. If there's any participant from China or Southeast Asia region, please feel free to get in touch with me with all your future inquiries or whatever you need, okay?
Thank you, Elton. Elton, before to move forward with the final presentation, how to recruit the student, maybe when you have some time, can you put your WeChat contact on the chat below? So all the Chinese, Hong Kong, and all the agents who use the WeChat, they will be able to contact you directly. So ladies and gentlemen, we are now in the final step. Elton is explaining us how to enroll the students. And then after we go with Donna on the commercial part, which is about commission, is about business, and this is why we are here. Elton, we can see your screen very, very good. So you are welcome to start your presentation.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Okay, guys, my presentation is gonna be really quick. I use this presentation as one of your future reference documents. I basically listed pretty much everything, all the key information which you can circulate among your team and for the future training purpose. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about how to apply and when to apply by degree levels. First of all, let me quickly run through the Professional English and Foundation program. Okay, for the summer Professional English program, we have 2 intakes. one is 6 weeks, the other is 10 weeks. Normally for 6 weeks, we start in June, and for 10 weeks, we start later in July. Sorry, 6 weeks is later in July, and 10 weeks is in June. Okay, for the application, that would be quite straightforward. What you need to do is get students' UKVI IELTS certificate and quoting students' ID, normally start with 2, then email one of your country manager. For example, say, I look after China and Southeast Asia. If you're one of the agent from those markets, you can just email me directly. I can help liaison with the application process. In terms of the entry requirements, because you can say majority of our undergraduate program will be 5.5, and the writing component no less than 5.5. So that'll be the direct entry for most undergraduate program. But from postgraduate, for a lot of business related, probably 6.5. But for other programs like journalism, they require higher English language requirements. So basically, you check on our website's entry requirement part, you will see the English language requirements. So basically, the entry requirements for the pre-sessional English is if you're 0.5 band lower than the direct entry IELTS, you need to take 6 weeks pre-sessional English. If you are 1 band or 1 point lower than the direct entry IELTS, then you take 10 weeks pre-sessional English. That's quite straightforward. Okay, let's move on to the International Foundation Year Program. So if you only apply 1 year International Foundation Year Program, then you can send direct application to our missions. So you can see the hyperlink here I created. So in the future, when you get hold of my presentation, you can click on that. So you will find the PDF version of that application form. And if you apply 4-year integrated undergraduate program, basically 1 year foundation plus 3-year undergraduate program. So if you apply that program, you can apply directly from UCAS website. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I'm going to talk about UCAS. If you are not the agent looking after, or your business are not really UK based, so we can talk a little bit more about UCAS. Basically, for our undergraduate programs, you can apply directly on the UCAS website. So this is a hyperlink as well. So you can make direct application there. So normally it takes up to 4 weeks for our admission team to process your application. So this is a rolling admission process. If you ask me about deadline, I would normally suggest apply before the UCAS deadline or as early as possible, but we understand some of the students and countries may need to wait for the last minute, or they may delay the application process, but that's fine. That's not a big problem. But if you want to know whether the program available or not, you can either check on the UCAS website or email your country manager directly and have some further discussion on that. In terms of application materials, that's quite standard, and you just follow the UCAS website. That's quite straightforward and direct in terms of all the documents you need. Yeah, and one thing I want to mention about the reference letter, if normally for undergraduate program, so your reference letter comes from a school teacher or whatever, you can ask them to do it directly. But with my experience with some of my market, so they tend to ask their teacher to send the email to our admission team later on, but that's fine. That's not a big problem, but make sure you send it from school or company official email address. Yeah, and some of our program, for example, say our acting, music theater, that kind of program, nursing, we ask for interview or audition. Just one thing. So the individual course page on the entry requirement section will listed whether this program require interview or audition. So you can see it from there. So normally it's performing arts based or the vocational based program, we may ask for the interview audition, but you are listed on our entry requirement page. Most of our interview will take place from November to May. So, but it really depends on the different situation. So so if you're shortlisted, the admission team gonna email you and organize the interview. What I would suggest you guys do, because different universities have different requirements. Normally, what I've been frequently asked about our performing arts related program or dancing program, they were like, do you ask for preloaded video about that? No, we don't ask for that. You just follow the UCAS, the procedure. Then after that, if we think this applicant is a potential candidate, we will invite them for the interview. It's slightly different. I just want to let you guys know. Okay, let's move on to the postgraduate application. So you can say there's another hyperlink. So that's UCAS PG. So you can make online application here. So like undergraduate program, so this is a rolling admission process, which means if you have students interested in Winchester, I would suggest them apply as early as possible. So normally it takes up to 3 weeks for our admission team to process the application. So, but normally during like today, the end of January this year is a UCAS deadline. So normally during UCAS deadline period, so that's really busy and hectic time. If you want for example, say your applicants to get early decision or whatever, so you can either move a bit earlier. So instead of overclashed with current UCAS deadline. So the official deadline for the university's PG program application is 31st of May. But so because every year university gonna evaluate the program with capacity, etc., we would strongly recommend that you apply it before the deadline. But having said that, if you want to make application after 21st of May, so you can always double check with your country manager, say if there's any availability or not. But normally we'll have, most of our program will still be available for application. Okay, in terms of application material is quite straightforward, but the reference part, so for the PG one, I understand quite a lot of students graduate from university or they have already been in the workforce for a couple of years. So they might ask for professional reference. Yes, we can accept professional reference, but so please do make sure this professional reference comes from a working email, quoting student ID, or you can send it to a country manager directly. So make sure this is official reference rather than a reference sending from personal email. Don't have like a signature or letter-headed paper. Yeah. And one last thing about the digital media program, which Dr. Ben Sanders just mentioned early on. So with the PG digital media programs, they ask for portfolio. So basically, if your students are interested to apply for the PGT digital media related program, they need a portfolio. So if you want to know more about what kind of requirement we need for the portfolio, you can check on our website on the entry requirements page. They have a specific, information about the portfolio. Okay, this is a PG top program application. For the last slides is the postgraduate. There is other program have different application routes. For our MA medical education programs, if you have a prospective student or student interested in applying to Winchester, so do make sure get in touch with Judith Cooper. So, and if your research degree or professional degree, you can say, so here are different, application methods. You can click on the hyperlink to have a, to dig more information on the website. Okay, so this is the last page for a quick summary about what I've just mentioned. If you apply pre-sessional or 1 year international foundation program, so you don't have to make UCAS application. You can make direct application. For pre-sessional English, send us an email with students' ID and UKVIELTS result. And for 1 year international foundation year program, you can fill up the direct application form and send it to our mission or your country manager directly. Okay, for the undergraduate and postgraduate top program, so the best way is make application via UCAS or UCAS PG. For the postgraduate research, no matter it's PhD or MPhil program, for any research related or doctor level program, so do check on our research knowledge center website. There is a comprehensive information about how to apply. Just a very quick reminder about the postgraduate research program. For those programs, it's not really about the scholarship or whether we have a place is valuable. It's always finding the right research match. So please do check on our website. There is a thorough information about how to apply for the postgraduate research program. Cool. That's basically my presentation about today, how to apply. So over to Richard.
Thank you, Elton. It was a very great presentation. Can you give me the screen back?
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we just hear now another presentation from University of Winchester. This time was Elton, who explained us in detail how to do the application. But now we go to the final part, to the most important part. This is why we are here. And it's great to see 110 agents. And these are the people who are seriously interested to work with Winchester. This was the first test today made from David and myself and all the team of Winchester to see who are the agents who are seriously interested to work with Winchester. And it's great to see 12, now we go a little bit more, that show interested and remain here all the time. We have Donna here. Hello, Donna. You have to unmute yourself, Donna. You have to unmute yourself.
Hello. Can you hear me, see me?
Yes, I can see you very well. How are you, Donna?
Great. Thank you so much.
So we're all here today now for you until the end, for the commercial part, because this is all about, is the commercial part. People want to know how much is the commission, how we can make an agent's agreement, etc., etc. So I know that you sent me the presentation. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my turn, and I will share my screen now, and I will go with the presentation that Donna sent to me by email. So Donna, remain with me in the meantime. I just share my screen this time. Let me see here what's happened. We are all live, ladies and gentlemen. So everything happened, it happened live. So we have the Brexit Commission, how to apply template. Which one you want first?
I would say the commission or Brexit, doesn't matter.
Whatever, we go with the Brexit. Let's do the commission for the end.
Okay.
So now I'm just downloading and re-uploading the first presentation which Donna prepared for us. And just 1 second. We are here now with the first presentation. So Donna Rose, you're a long time working at Winchester so far, I know.
Yes, I am.
So you are part of the let's say of the building of the staff of the longer staff from Winchester.
Part of the international team. I'm a quarter of the international team. So I look after markets in parts of the EU and also the Americas here.
Okay, so now we can see the presentation. I will move on with the second page here, please.
Yeah, okay. I'd like to welcome you all to our Agents Workshop. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to speak to you about the outcomes of Brexit and the effects students from the EU and the EEA who are looking to study in the UK. At Winchester, we take pride in being a diverse institution with students and staff from over 80 countries worldwide. We are passionate and committed to providing supportive and inclusive environment that will enable each student to flourish in their studies in the UK university experience. So next slide, please, Richard. Oh, sorry, that's the slide. Can you go back, please?
Yeah, that's the question. Back. This is always how we love to go back. We are here.
Yep, that's it. Thank you. So as a result of Brexit and post-Brexit negotiations, EU and EEA students will still be able to study in the UK with the following conditions to consider. We're looking at settled and pre-settled status. The UK government has formed a EU settlement scheme, which they call EUSS, that grants EU and EEA citizens permission to continue to live in the UK after the 30th of June 2021. EU citizens living in the UK, as well as their family member, will be able to continue their lives with the same access to work, to study, and public services that they currently enjoy. Also, their family members, close family members, such as spouse, partner, dependent child, grandchild, grandparents, and parents overseas will be able to join them in the future. Those with settled status or pre-settled status will continue to have the same access as they currently do to our national healthcare system, which is the NHS, pensions, and other benefits according to the same rules now. So to obtain EU citizens to obtain a settled status, they would generally need to have lived in the UK continuously for 5 years. Those with less than 5 years of continuous residence will be granted pre-settled status, where they'll be able to apply for a settled status once they reach the 5-year point. The EU settlement scheme, there's application process in the UK government website. It can be found, the link can be found in the following slides later on. There is no charge to apply for this scheme. And as mentioned before, EU citizens and their family members who by the 31st of December 2020 have been continuously living in the UK for 5 years will be eligible for settled status. And that will enable them to stay until they reach the 5-year threshold for indefinite leave to remain. For those who already have a valid permanent resident or indefinite leave to remain document, they can swap that for a settled status. And for those living in the UK by the end of 2020, that they will be able to apply for the application by the deadline of the 30th of June 2021. But if you have any regards or doubts regarding the fee status of the students that you are talking to, please send us an email for a fee status form, and we will give you the assessment from the form. You can email us a request to courseinquiries@winchester.ac.uk. David, if you can please put that in the chat box, or the international team, which is international@winchester.ac.uk. Next slide, please, Richard.
Thank you, Donna. This is very, very interesting what you say now. Very interesting.
For the tuition fees that have been set by the university, commencing from the 31st of August 2021, for full-time undergraduate courses, then for new international students, it will be $13,800 per year, and that will be starting from 2021. Standard postgraduate taught master's courses will also be $13,800 per year, and that's in pounds. But if you notice, some courses may be higher depending on the course for our undergraduate and postgraduate courses, and that will be more in relations to our nursing programs, social work programs, and physiotherapy. But the program, individual course fees can be found on the website on the course pages. So you can refer that to the website as well. Next slide, please, Richard. Well, I was going to talk to you about scholarships, eligibility for scholarships. We have an international student scholarship, which is application based, which is £1,000 reduction from the tuition fee. And there are 15 available, as well as our Taught Masters Scholarship, which Nabil mentioned. That is an automatic scholarship that will be reduced from the tuition fee, and the MBA scholarship. But if you have any queries, just I guess refer to Nabil's presentation for more detail. Next slide, please, Richard.
Yep.
Funding. When we're talking about the funding, at the moment, it is confirmed at this point that students will be able to apply and have access to student loans through the student loan company, which the acronym is SLC, if the course starts in England in the 2020/2021 academic year. That's providing that they meet the residency requirements. Courses starting after August the 1st, 2021. However, it is noted that if they're planning to start after that date, students or applicants from the EU or EEA will not be eligible to qualify for student loans through the student loans company. But we will have further updates. There's a webinar coming up next month. So if we get further updates, we can inform the agents as well. Next slide, please. Visas. If the students require a visa, there's changes, so policy changes and reforms to immigration rules and regulations that impact international students have been referred to by Nabil's presentation as well. And as he said, the student route replaces the Tier 4 visa system, and also the graduate route replaces the post-study work visa. Next slide, please. And here are some of the useful websites. So you have Yakiza, which is an organization that gives guidance to students currently studying in the UK and those intending to study here in the future. There's also University UK. It's a collective voice of 140 universities in England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. And as well, the most important one, UK government website. So we look forward to working with you and partners in the future, and want to know how we can further support our international students, and eventually we can come face to face as a community to share our experiences. But we can go to the more important bit. If you like to, we can go to the commission payments.
Yep, this is what we are waiting for. Let's go to the commission part. So let's.
Richard, Donna, while you're waiting, I've just posted on the chat the link. All the links that I just mentioned are now on the chat for all the agents.
Okay, thank you, David.
So we go, ladies and gentlemen, on the commission part. Is very important now. Donna will explain you the details.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I work in the recruitment part of the operation and also the operations part. So I deal with the commissions and who we pay. Commission payment is paid to agents and partners who are holding a valid contract with us. So in order to obtain a contract or an agreement, we do ask the agents and everybody involved here to submit an application form, the agent application form. And it's wonderful that you all have this interest to be working with us. From there, we do have a duty to go through the reference checks. And once that's done, if a collaboration is agreed, a contract will be drawn up. It will be sent to you and then sent back and countersigned by our Director of Communication and External Relations, who's Andy Blair, who you met earlier. And then you will have a contract in place. So in consideration of the duties undertaken by the agent, please note that the commission rates are based on net tuition fees received by the university for the first year of the student's attendance. And the commission rate itself, it's 20% of the net tuition fee for each student enrolled in the first year, and that will be honored.
Donna, before to move on the second slide, I want to kindly ask David if he can download or upload the application form on the chat, if you can manage this, if it's possible. Because I presume that some of them did not fill out the form until today. So if not, I will do this myself in a second step. So Donna, I move on the second part.
Well, I'm not finished yet. Sorry.
Problem.
I noticed that in the chat room that somebody was inquiring about recruiting more than 10 students, but in the event that a agent successfully recruits 20 or more students for a single academic year, we do have an award to the agent for a scholarship for a student of their choice that register at the university, but that is to be determined at the moment. And also note that on the UCAS application form, there is a section on the application where you can indicate your agency or your agent name to be a denominated agent. Alternatively, you can email the international staff member who you're working with to let us know the name of the students that that you have been working with and recruited. That's kind of what we call tagging the student to your agency. So you will be paid for those students. But we also pay commission only to students recruited for the courses delivered by the university. Next slide, please.
Yes.
So how we pay? Ooh. Agents can claim students upon enrollment of students at the university. The agents will send a list to us. The list has to have the name of the student, ID number, the course they have taken, tuition fee, and we will receive that list and it'll be confirmed by us, and to make sure that they have enrolled and have paid the tuition fees in full and completed the enrollment process. Richard, can you pull up the template, please?
Yes, okay, we're finished here. We go up here, 1 second.
The template of the invoice Richard is going to pull up. That is a template of the invoice that you would send to us, which will include your company name, a logo if applicable, full address, detailed information of your company. So if there's any VAT, value added tax, or any other calculated tax, if applicable, has to be included. The university's VAT number we can give you in future. The university's name, David's name is on there, so that's fine. As long as we have an invoice number, the date, the total value, and also full banking details. If there's anything missing from this invoice, it may result in delays or rejection. So please, if you are claiming commission, we need complete information. And commission payments will be payable in sterling or pounds, Great British pounds, by the university within 30 days of receipt of the invoice, subject to the student having completed the enrollment process and paid their tuition fees in full. We will be reviewing all the application forms submitted and after the workshop, and we will be contacting the agents hopefully by next week. Is that correct, David?
That is exactly right, Donna.
Okay, and I just want to thank you all for joining me in my presentation. And if there's any questions, the chat box is there and we're here to answer any questions. Thank you.
Donna. Thank you, Donna. You give a very excellent presentation. We understand clearly everything. And I think it was very important to understand how the system is working. David, I'm a business person. How much is the commission, more or less? Can you give us an idea, an orientation?
20%. The standard rate, 20% on the first year fees, as Donna said, when the students are paid at the university. I want to just repeat what Donna said, I think is very important, and Nabil and Elton, which is the process. Many of the agents have now sent an application form. Thank you so much for that. When the application form comes in, we review it. If we think there's a good chance for business together, we'll then take up the references and we'll talk to the agent. And if we think, yep, we're in business, we will then send a contract to those agents. They'll sign the form. It comes back to us. It's signed by us. And then we're working together. And at that point, Donna can, if we get students to the agent, pay commission to the agent. But as I said before, the first step is the application form to be an agent. We won't be, unfortunately, engaging everyone who contacts us because that's just too many agents. So we'll be selecting the agents we want to work with, take the references up, and if Nabil, me, Elton, and Donna are happy, that agent gets a contract, and then we'll send a template of the commission invoice with the contract to those agents so they know what to fill in. In the meantime, we are going to send a copy of our presentations that we did today, my presentation, Nabil's excellent visa presentation, Elton's tremendous presentation on how to apply, and Donna's masterful presentation on how we pay you to all the agents on that spreadsheet, Richard.
Yep, and one more thing I want to add, I put my email below in case some of you did not receive the application form for any reason. Just send me an email directly and I will share with you the application form immediately so that you can fill out this and send a copy back directly to David Street, who is the head of the recruitment of the University of Winchester. So very important, you will find my email on the chat system if you open the chat, or if you cannot open the chat for any reason, just send it to international@webaworld.com and just say, I want to receive the application form from the University of Winchester in order to become an agent. So I will send you the application form. You need to fill out this. You have to send it back directly to David Street. And on the email, I will put as well the email of David Street directly. So everything is coordinated from our office in regarding to the application form. Now, what we will do when we finish today, we will we record everything today, what we say, all the presentation, and we will prepare a YouTube link. And then on Monday, together with David Street, we will send you an email and with the link. So you can go through all the presentation with your staff, or if you want to recheck some details, maybe from Nabil, maybe from Donna, from Elton, or maybe directly from the Dean, or from Dr. Sanders. So you will be able to go through everything. What is very good as well on this YouTube, when you have some students coming into your office, you can show them as well the small interview we give to these 4 students. So the students will understand, wow, we have some students, feedback as well. We can see the feedback we get from the young student from India and the 3 ladies from Norway. So this is always very helpful because you need to have some tools when you sell. And you know, today you had this opportunity is like a training session for you to understand how it works inside at the University of Winchester, how you can cooperate with them, what kind of program they have, how is the accommodation, etc., how to get the visa, the new system, the new regulation, the new route for undergraduate, for postgraduate. So this video will help you to understand during the year, because I'm sure that you will not, it's very difficult to understand everything the first time. So you need to go through the YouTube video several times, and this will help you to process when you have a student or a parent coming into your office. David, I give you the last speech to you, so maybe you can give a final overview of the University of Winchester.
Well, Richard, thank you for this, and thank you for the opportunity, and thank you to all our wonderful agents and partners for being so brave and patient to sit through our presentations. We would like to see you in person. Obviously, we can't do that at the moment, but as soon as that green light goes on, we're traveling and we're going to come and see you. In the meantime, as I said, my team and I will review all the applications we've received. We will acknowledge all the applications we've got. So if we're going to contact you again, you'll hear from us next week. Thank you so much. Richard, thank you so much for your time and patience this morning. And to my excellent colleagues, we'll talk next week about the workshop and the way forward. In the meantime, as Richard said, we are open for business. COVID may have slowed us down as a university, but it hasn't stopped us. And so this year, next year, we're looking forward to seeing your students. So again, on behalf of the University of Winchester, thank you for joining us. And we hope to speak to all of you again very soon.
Thank you, David. Thank you to all the team of the University of Winchester. Thank you to all the agents. I know it was a long way today. We had about 4-hour workshop together, which we introduced the University of Winchester. So it was very, very interesting as well from my side to understand a little bit more how the system is working. Thank you, Baljinder, to be on my backside all the time today. Just ready to jump in case something happen with my system, with our portal, with the computer, with internet. So Baljinder, I hope it was interesting for you as well.
Thank you very much, Richard, and thank you, David. Yes, it has been a long time, but soon, as you said, green light, we are waiting for that. And I mean, this was our most elaborated presentation since we started it 11 months ago, covering each and every section and corner of the university, and of course of the process as well. Thank you very much to your entire team, David, once again, and thank you, Richard, for bringing more than 100 agents today together. Thank you.
Thank you, Baljinder. Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to all the agents. I know many of you wake up 2 o'clock in the morning, and many of you are still 11 o'clock in the evening, some already late in the afternoon. Thank you from my heart. It was a great presentation from the Winchester team. I try my best to bring top quality agents here today for the University of Winchester. It was great that you was here all the time and listen to the team of the University of Winchester. I hope to welcome you again in one of my next WEBA live workshop. And I wish you everyone, first of all, good health. This is the most important. And stay safe, keep smiling, life go forward. We have to move forward. We have to work in a new direction. And I'm here, and David is here as well. If you need anything, do not hesitate to contact me or to contact David. We are here to support you, and we are here to helping you. And try to fill out the application form and try to put something about yourself, not only about the name of the agency, the location. Put a little bit of your history. Why did you want to work with University of Winchester? What difference can you give? Why they should choose you? Don't give only 2 references. This is easy. I can give 3, 10 references. Tell them why they should choose you as an agent. I choose the best agents here. These are top quality agents here with us, me today. And I'm proud of all of you, and I'm sure that you can bring a lot of students. So show University of Winchester that you are excellent agents and you're confident to bring them students. Again, thank you very much to everyone. Have a lovely day, happy Friday, and happy weekend.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Richard.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Maria.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good seeing you, Richard, and good hearing you talk.
Thank you, Christoph.
Thank you very much.